Hello and welcome to all. I hope you all are keeping healthy and doing great. I am Justin D'Souza, your math teacher. Now we will begin with the end of term 3 exam topics. This playlist is for the grade 12 advance. So you have definitely gone through the exam scheme by now. Each of these videos in this playlist will be named and numbered accordingly. So if you click on, say, the video with the name 4 and this topic name, you would get this explanation video. Now, each of these topics are separately made and separately uploaded, so it'll be easy for you to go to any topic you want. So please go to the playlist and click on play all, so all of them will be played accordingly. One more thing, please go and watch this videos in continuity. What I mean is, if you start with one and go to the next one and then so on. Start with the part one and then move to the part two. The part one are the easy questions. This will, solidify your base of understanding. And then when you do the part two, it'll be much easier. So don't directly jump to the topics, go accordingly. And few things about this exam scheme: the part A questions each carry 3 marks, whereas the part 2, each of them carry 5 marks. And these will be in Swift Assess, so they are online. You will have multiple choice questions. You will have 4 options basically. Whereas third part will carry 6 to 7 marks each, and even the bonus is included over here. They're all in writing, so you need to detail each step in writing and then solve them up. These two bonus would be anything what you have studied throughout your term 3. So now in the next video onwards, we will start with the first topic. So please do stay tuned. I will be uploading the videos as soon as I can. And if you have found it helpful, please do subscribe to my channel and do share it among your friends, whoever will find it useful. Happy learning and all the best for your coming exams. Welcome to the first explanation video of the end of term 3 exam topics. It is area between curves. The first topic over here is to find the area between two curves using definite integration. Now, definite integration means you need to know the limits, apply and solve. So we will see how to do it. But before we go to the problem, let's see the formula which will be used. Now, area between two curves. Let one curve be y equals f of x and another curve g of x. These are the limits a to b. You need to use this formula from a to b. A is the lower limit to the upper limit. The function f of x minus the other function g of x dx. Now, which function minus which other function? It's always the upper function minus the lower function. For example, this is the upper function, right? You need to subtract this function from the lower function. That's it. So up minus down, top divided minus the bottom. That's it. So now here we have the problem like this. Find the area bounded by the graphs of y equals 3 minus x and y equals x square minus 9. Now, sometimes, most of the time, there won't be the graph given to you. So you need to draw graph. You need to have basic knowledge of graph. Now, I will just tell you 3 important graphs, that is linear, square root, that is parabola, and the cubic graph. If you have y equals x, or if you have y equals minus x, here the power is 1. If it's positive, the graph goes upwards because it's positive slope, whereas negative means it's going downwards. This is x and y axis, this is x and y axis. So the graph is upwards and this is downwards. So this is about linear graph. Now let me draw the parabolas. Now what does parabola mean? It's just that the power over here will be 2. It's squared. And even over here, when you are positive, it's upwards, it goes upwards like this. When it's negative, it goes downwards, it opens upwards. And when it's positive too, it open upwards. Negative means over here it goes downwards. So this is the difference over here. Now the next thing, see, look, whenever you have x squared, only x squared, it's upwards like this graph. Whereas there is minus x power 2, then it will be downwards. And the last one is cubic. So cubic is power 3 and over here power 3. So whenever there is positive cubic graph, the right side will go upwards and the left side goes downwards. Whereas the end behavior changes when it's negative, so the left side goes upwards and the right side goes downwards. This is the only difference. There's nothing else. So if you know these basic graphs, it's very, very helpful. Now over here, you might be thinking, what is this plus 3 or minus 3 and all these extra terms? Now look at this. What is the graph over here? It's minus x, isn't it? So minus x means it goes downwards. Now you can see this number is the y-intercept. That's plus 3. So at plus 3, it will be shifted. It will be translated at over here. The y-intercept is at 3. So this would be the first graph. Now what about this one? X square minus 9. You know, x square graph is like this, but it's minus 9. We'll touch over here. So it'll be at 9 over here. So it'll open upwards at 9. The graphs are very rough sketches. You should just the basic knowledge is more than enough. Now it'll be something like this, you know, the graphs. From the basic knowledge of graph, it'll intersect over here and somewhere over here. I have no idea, but we have methods to solve for it. So this would be the graph, somewhat like this. And you can see the graph. It does not match accurately. I don't have any answers, but approximately I could draw them. So you can see the upper function is 3 minus x, whereas the lower function is x square minus 9. I hope you're clear with the graphing, because if you do not graph, it is not possible for you to understand which is the upper function and which is the lower function. If you do not find that, you are not able to solve the problem. Now, here, you need to analyze the graph, check the upper function and the lower function. Then how do you find these points of intersections? If the graph is not there, you're drawing a rough graph, you won't get the accurate answers. So how would you do it? The points of intersection means these two functions are equal at that point. You can see intersecting means both the graphs touch at that point. Whereas at where the x values and the y values are same for both the functions. So what does it mean? The y values over here, even the x, but mainly y values are same, right? So it means y equals y, because it's very hard to change the x, and also consider y is equal to y. So equate these two equations. 3 minus x equals x square minus 9. Now how would you solve it? You need to just bring it to the other side, minus x to the other side. It'll be plus x. So x squared plus x, and 3 to the other side will be minus 9 minus 3. It'll be negative 12. And now you can put it in the calculator and solve. If you're thinking how I got this, it's very simple. You need to go to mode, phi, and 3. Put it in the calculator, the coefficients. Before x squared, it's 1. Before x, it's 1. And lastly, we have negative 12. So the answer is 3 and negative 3. That's the answer. So this is how we find the intersection point, which matches over here. They are at minus 4 and 3. So these are the limits. Basically, they are the limits. And then we have the functions, the upper function and lower function. So now you have to just substitute the values in the formula and solve. This is the formula which we have been through. All you need to do is substitute. Upper function f of x is 3 minus x. Lower function x square minus 9. The lower limit is negative 4. It starts with the lower limit to the upper limit until 3. All you did is substitution. Now, you can't solve it using formula, but since this is in part A, you can directly use the calculator. Just press the symbol and put it in the calculator. It's 3 minus alpha x minus alpha x squared minus 9, close the bracket, and the limits are from minus 4 until 3, and that is the answer, 343 by 6 or 57.1666. So now over here you can use extra brackets, but once you open a bracket, be careful to close it. Be extra cautious with the brackets, because if you miss a simple thing in the bracket, your answer will be wrong and you will not know it. So this is very important. So this is the answer. And now, if you want to solve manually, you need to simplify this and then use integration and then apply the limits and solve it. The answer will be the same. Area is 57.17 units. Since this is definite integrals, it's better to save time by using calculator. Now you can see there are a few more questions over here. Same concept. Draw the basic graph. Say now here square root graph. It's something like this. If it is magnitude, it will be like this. So basic graphs, exponent graphs. Check them all by yourself. Try them by yourselves. Do not look into the answers directly. Attempt few problems at least, just like how I've solved. Just attempt these. Equate these two equations. Put it in the calculator. Solve it. And then you can check all the answers, the solved solutions, the methods, and also these graphs are being mentioned over here. So each and every problem solution is mentioned. It's just the upper function minus the lower function and directly put it in the calculator. It's all direct in calculator because it's definite integrals. So you can just look into the answers one by one and do check your answers. So that is about the first topic. Please stay tuned for the next topics and the coming videos. And please double check your graphs as well. See now here the graph. Uh, Now one more thing is you do not need to draw the entire graph. One good question over here. See the thing is you should just know the basic knowledge. Magnitude. It's sharp like this. Now what about this rational function? Okay, you do not need to know the exact graphing, just the basic knowledge. You know this will go down. So this is somewhere over here, the 2, right? It starts from here and then it reduces. So you know this is the upper function for sure. So all you need to do is find the intersection points. So equate it. And over here there are two terms because over here until this point, this is reducing. The slope over here is reducing, so it's minus x until 0. So from minus 1 to 0, this function is upper function minus lower function, so it will be minus of minus x. Whereas over here it's positive x, so upper function minus lower function will be just minus x. So this is the thing. When you solve it in steps, you'll realize this until 0 is a separate function. The answer is negative x. Why? Whenever a linear function, when it comes down, it's minus x. When it goes up, it's positive x. The slope is positive. That's why we have two things, and then it's direct. You don't need to do all these derivations. You can just put this in calculator and you'll directly get this answer. Okay, now what happens is you will have an answer which is say in values like 0.54 or 64, okay? But your answer will be somewhat in ln or pi by 3. You will have four options, which is none of that is 0.64. All you need to do is solve it up, okay? Solve it up. Now, this will be 0.57, I believe. What I mean is, now pi by 2, shift pi divided by 2 minus 1. So this is how you solve it. It'll be 0.57. Your answer, whatever you get, will be directly 0.5707. So that is how you can easily solve this. And please do check the answers after you solve by yourselves. Now we move on to the second topic. Before we start this topic, I've asked you to watch the first video explanation. If you have not yet watched it, please pause this, go back and watch all the videos in continuity. We have seen the same thing in the first video, that is area between curves. We have come across this formula again and it's a similar topic. I'll tell you what's the difference between the topic 1 and 2 in a while. The formula is from the lower limit a to upper limit b, the upper function minus the lower function. That's the answer. That's the formula. So upper function is anything that's up and lower function is the one below. A to b is the limits, smaller lower limit to greater limit. Now here the problems will be given like this, but you will be given the definite integration. So all the problem will have this, the integration where you need to take the limits will be mentioned. So it is very, very easy. You do not need to find the points of integration. You do not need to solve for it. You have to just input this as A and B. So your job is much easier now. Only thing is you need to sketch the graph. Sketch the graph by basic knowledge of graphs. You need to understand which is the upper function and the lower function. It won't be like this. Now I'll draw the graph over here. Now x and y axis. So let me try to get it straight. Okay, somewhat better. Now it's minus x squared, so it'll be down, but plus 2, so it'll be something like this. And over here we have just x squared, so it'll be something like this. So from 0 to 1 where it intersects. So you do not need to know the exact graph, just 0 to 1. Over here at 0, just see at 0 what is the upper function. It is x squared. And what is the, sorry, 2 minus x squared is the upper function. And what is the lower function? It is x squared lower. That's it. Now, if you know that, you can just substitute in the formula and solve. The formula is over here f of x minus g of x dx. Put it over here. 2 minus x squared is the upper function, lower function. Put it in the calculator and directly you will get the answer. That is integral. Open the brackets. 2 minus alpha x squared minus x squared. Now, minus x squared. And the limits are from 0 to 1. And the answer is 4 by 3, or it's 1.33 units square. That's over here, 4 by 3 units square. Unit square because the area is in square. So this is how you solve it. Similarly, you have the limits over here. Please do follow whatever was just now told. You need to know the basic knowledge of graph, and then you will easily understand it. So if you have solved the problems in the topic 1, this must be very, very easy. You can see all the all the explanations over here. All the steps are also mentioned over here. So please go through them, solve it by yourself, and then check the answers over here. The third topic is on finding the volume by definite integration using area of cross sections. This is also called volume by slicing. We use this formula where volume is integral from a to b, integration of what? Area with respect to dx. So we will see a problem, you'll understand how easy it is. Now, for example, you have been given the area x plus 2. And they have given the definite integration, definite integrals as well, negative 1, and x varies from negative 1 to 3. So all you need to do is substitute the values in the formula. The formula is integral a to b a of x dx. Now here a of x is given, that is x plus 2. And remember the lower limit to the upper limit. All you need to do is use the calculator. Since it's definite integral, use the symbol. Open the bracket, x plus 2, close the bracket dx, and negative 1 to positive 3. And that will be the answer. That's 12 unit cubes, because volume is in terms of cube, unit cubes. If it is given as meter, it will be meter cube, or so on. It will be in power 3. So that is the answer. Similarly, please do try these by yourselves. They are very, very simple and straightforward. These are the remaining questions from your exam scheme. Now you can see all the answers are there. It's very, very straightforward. The first one I had done for you. You can use the integration formula, or you can use the calculator method or the integration formula. It's up to you, whichever is easy. All the part 1 and part 2, you will have 4 options. So whichever you find easy. If the calculator is easy, just do it. So then over here, same way, you can see all the answers, and that's that. Now, one thing about this or this, option 2 or 3, the answer is coming in terms of 56 pi by 3. Now, whenever you solve it in your calculator, you will never have this as the answer. Your answers will be in decimals. So now what happens is 56 pi divided by 3 would mean it is, I'll just type it again, 56 pi, that is shift and over here, divided by 3 is, by pressing ST, it's 58.64. So you will have 58.64 in your calculator, but the answer won't be in any of the options because your options will be in terms of pi. All you need to do is simplify all of them, put it in your calculator and press ST. You might have 4 options, only one will be the correct option. So write the answer. So first option might be 60.7. Next one would be 38.4. And then when you put the correct answer, only you will get the correct answer, that is 58.64. So what you must do is, once you use this integral symbol and solve it, you will get the answer in decimal, write it somewhere, and then solve all the questions, all the 4 question options, and then check your answers. That is how you easily solve this up. The fourth topic is to find the arc length in a given interval using definite integration. Definite integration means the limits will be given. Arc length is given by this formula over here. The arc length equals limit from a to b square root of 1 plus f dash of x the whole square dx. Now this is a very important term. F dash means it's the derivative. So we need to find the derivative of the given function and then substitute it. The formula is very straightforward. Let's do a few problems. Here they have asked to find the arc length for this particular equation y equals sine x with 0 to pi. X is from 0 to pi. Now, how do we solve? First and the foremost thing is to differentiate. Whenever it comes to arc length or surface area, you have to differentiate. Now, don't get confused with integrals. Differentiation is sign will be cos, just cos. Okay, it's positive cos x. Whereas if it was integral, it would be minus, uh, sign would be minus cos. So that's the thing. You need to differentiate between differentiation and integrals. It's very crucial. Now, once you have done the differentiation, note the limits. The lower limit a is the a, that is 0, and upper limit b is pi. And now you can use the formula of arc length and solve it. The formula for arc length is given over here. You have to memorize this formula. This is a simple formula, and even the surface area, which will come in the coming videos in the part B, is again very simple. Only 2 pi will be added over here. So now 0 to pi, now we solve it, just substitute it, and you can directly do it in the calculator. Now some of you, not many, some of you might not get the correct answer. Let me clear my calculator and I will do it as it is. Integral square root 1 plus cos alpha x the whole square. I need to put the bracket, square it, and the limit is from 0 to pi. 0 to pi. And now when I press equal to, I'm getting 4.44, but over here it's 3.83. What is the problem? Now the thing is, here we need to change the mode to radian. If you're getting this 4.44, that's not right because it's in degrees. You need to change to radian, shift, mode, and 4. And now you will get the correct answer, that is from radian mode. Now, you can even get it in degrees, but it's a long procedure because you need to convert it to, again, pi. You need to divide by 180, convert to radian, and then, there's a procedure to do it. Instead of that, from 4.44 to convert to radians, it'll take time. So directly set the mode to radian and you can easily get the answer. So please remember, press shift, mode, and 4 whenever you're trigonometric functions when you're using the calculator. So that's it. Now that's the answer. So similarly, now please do this by yourself. Pause the video, do it by yourself, and then look for the answers. Don't directly jump for the answers. Try solving by yourself. It's very simple. Derive this, put it in the formula. These are the limits over in calculator. Now, if they're given you the directly, you can easily do it. So try this. Try all of this and then check the answers. All the answers are shown over here. So these are the answers. Now we move on to the fifth topic, that is to compute integrals using direct computation and rules. This basically means we are using definite integrals. So we can directly use our calculator and solve these problems. But before that, let us just go through the basic integration formulas. These are very useful for the coming topics and most crucial in the part B section. Now we will just go through basic rules, basic formulas which must be known. That is the power rule. If you have, say, for example, x to the power 3, always remember you need to add the power up, add the power and divide it by the added power, that is 4. And don't forget to write the constant. The thing is, integration is opposite to derivatives. So whenever we derive any constant, it becomes 0. So now if I had to derive, say, x to the power 4 divided by 4 plus 3, it would have been 4 comes down. This is derivation I'm doing, f dash, and it'll be x to the power 3 divided by 4, and this 3 becomes 0, and this cancels, and you're getting x to the power 3. So this is derivation of the answer, you get x to the power 3. When you integrate, you won't get that because we cannot integrate. But so that's why we write C, because look over here, the 3 is dissolved to 0. We do not know exactly which constant. Even if I add instead of 3, say 10, it would be 0. So the C means any constant number. It can be any number. So that is the thing. So these are inverse of each other. When you integrate something, you will get the answer, and when you derive, sorry, I'll tell it again. When you derive one thing, whatever the answer you get, when you integrate that answer, you should get the derivative of the question. It's basically inverse of each other. So that's about power rule, and that's about C as well, the constant. And now few of the basic formulas. 1 by x dx. See, it's like opposite to what is derivative. If you have remembered the derivative formulas, then these integral formulas will be easy because they are similar to it. 1 by x dx is natural logarithm magnitude of x plus c. Now sine, cos, secant, and tan, and cosecant square, and cosecant and cot, they are similar to the derivatives, but there is few things you must remember. Whenever you integrate something and the answer is starting with it can be cosine, cotangent, or cosecant, you must add a negative sign. If it is sine or tangent or secant, it's fine, just write it as it is, no need of the negative sign. Whichever has will have, or whichever has c will have a negative sign over here. And then there are a few more formulas about exponential, that is as it is, but if it's minus, remember to add the minus sign down from chain rule. And then we have over here the inverse trigonometric function formulas. These are also very important. You need to remember this. Whenever there is no square root, it's just 1 plus x squared, it's tan inverse, whereas sine inverse has square root and it's 1 minus x squared. Whereas if it's secant, then you have magnitude x times x squared comes first minus 1. Now let's look into the problem. There are only two problems in this topic 5, and they are very, very easy because all you need to do is definite integrals. So you need to just put this and write the problems as it is, square root x alpha x minus 3, and write the limits appropriately. It starts with 3 and goes up till 4, and press equal to sign. It might take some time, but it will definitely give you answer after a few seconds. The answer is 2.4. And you can use the formulas and solve for the same answer. Here you're getting 12 by 5. Don't worry, because 12 by 5 is the same thing. If you divide 12 by 5, you're going to get 2.4. So sometimes you may not get, your answers will be in decimal generally. You may not get the fraction, or say in terms of pi, you may not get the answers. So look into the 4 options, because this topic 5, you will have 4 options. Solve them and compare to the decimal form. Same way over here, just use the definite integral symbol and type the values. X times x minus 3, the whole square, and the definite integral starts from 0 to 1 plus equal to, and the answer is 11 by 4. Here it's in fraction form. So this is how you can easily solve definite integral problems. In the next video, we will solve the 6th topic. Topic 6 is also on computing integrals. Now over here you need to use the formula or rules. You cannot use your calculator. Again, we will go through the formulas quickly. If you're directly coming to this video, please pause the video and go back to the previous video of the topic number 5, where we explain the formulas. I hope you remember the power rule, 1 by x, the trigonometric functions. These are all the formulas. You can pause the video now and just glance through this and memorize them again. And then we have more of them. OB exponential, tan, inverse functions. So these are all the formulas, the basic ones. Now you have a problem over here where you need to integrate sine ax dx for a is not equal to 0. Why? Because if a is equal to 0, entire function becomes 0. So what it says is the constant is something, some value. It's a constant value other than 0. It can be 2, 3 or anything. How do we solve it? So we need to know which formula we can use. We know sine x dx is minus cos x dx plus c. But now this is just the formula, but we cannot do it because x is the, over here, look carefully, we don't have just x. If it was only x, we can use this formula, but we have a constant value that is ax. So what do we do now? We need to do u substitution. So u substitute over here, you do the u substitution at ax instead of the ax, because there are two terms. We do not have formula for two terms. Just substitute u to be ax and then derive this. Du by dx would be just a, because the derivation of any constant with a term, x term or x squared, the a constant will remain as it is and only the derivation over here. Derivation of x is 1, so you're remaining with du by dx equals a. Then what do? Just take this dx to the other side and bring the a to the other side. So now you know what is u and you know what is dx. Why do we need this dx in terms of du? Because now you can substitute instead of ax as sine, ax as u, but still you're remaining with dx. You can't integrate when you have the function in terms of u and integral in terms of dx. These are two different things. It's not possible. It must be same variable. So that is why now over here, what you need to do is find dx in terms of du. Now just substitute everything and solve. That is, sine ax becomes u because we have assumed ax to be u. And from u we can find out dx in terms of du. It'll be du by a. Now this is a constant 1 by a. Remove that out. Remove 1 by a out. And what remains? Sine u du. Now you can use this formula. Instead of x we have u. It will become minus cos u plus c. And 1 by a is outside. Now this is the answer. It is minus 1 by a cos u plus c. So that is the answer for this particular question. Now here you need to remember one important thing. Whenever you have constant, it will be, when you do the substitution, the u substitution, it will go out as the fraction 1 divided by the constant. And then let's just look at these. There are many over here. I'll just pick these sine over here, sine or cos. Now if you're doing the cos, all you need to remember is, what is the cos formula? This is the shortcut. What is the cos formula? Cos is just sine, so it'll be sine x plus c. But don't forget, you need to have this constant 1 by a out. You can do the u substitution and check the answers as well. Now here you can see the answer. 1 by, okay, I've forgotten one important thing over here. Let me just go back. You need to resubstitute back the given formula. So, okay, I hope this much is clear. Now, just one important thing which you must remember, guys. I'm glad that I made the mistake, because so that you don't make the same mistake in the exam. Now, this is not the final answer. You need to substitute it back. What is u? We have assumed u to be ax. So it is cos ax plus c. So this is your final answer. Remember, always what is given, it's not sine x, it is ax. So substitute that back. U is equal to ax. You need to resubstitute back, and this is your final answer. I apologize, I missed that step out, but I'll be adding it soon. So this is the thing. So that would be the final answer. Now over here, same thing. Whenever there is a constant, 1 by a is out. And remember, it will be sine, not x, it will be ax plus c. So this would be the answer. Now what about this? It will be 1 by 6. Since it's sine to cos, it will be minus. And you will have cos 6t plus c. So directly you can get the answers. Let's just double check them. So one second, I'll come back to these. You can see over here, minus 1 by 6 and so on. Now, what about the secant and tan? You know the secant and tan formula is just secant, right? So all you need to do is 2. The A value is 2. It should be same. So it'll be 1 by 2 secant 2t plus c. And similarly, you can solve the others. Over here, you can directly use the square formula and you can solve. They are very straightforward. And now over here, these ones in the next topic, the topic number 7 is again the same topic. It's again 1 to 10, just 2 more problems. So we will see them in the next video. But for now, you can see this. This is belonging to secant. It is sine. So what you must do is you must remember the formula, which is the sine formula, and then you need to solve it up. Over here, I'm sorry, this is another error. This is not there. This is for this problem. These are not for this. This is the answer over here. So because 1 by root of 1 minus x squared is sine inverse. So you must remember sine inverse will be the answer. But what happens is, look over here, there is a square. Instead of 1, we have a constant. So all you need to do is divide by x divided by the constant. Anyway, when we do u substitution, you will get this anyways. And over here as well, this is secant, right? So this is very straightforward. This is the problem. Sorry, this b over here. Now, and there is a over here. So you must remember, when you integrate b divided by this problem over here, since the b is on the top, that does not make any difference. Whenever you're multiplying anything, you just remove it out. So you can remove this out, it's fine. But what about this a? Remember, this a will be x divided by a. Don't worry if you have not understood these inverse problems, because in the next video again we will continue the same problems, same things. We will look into that over there. But for now, the simple problems, use the formula and solve. So over here, all the answers are solved. Please do check them, but do it by yourself and then check the answers. Again, we are back to the similar topic. In fact, it's the same topic, not even similar. Only thing is, we will look into different type of problems in this. Basic integration formulas, we have already seen them. Power rule, 1 by x, trigonometry functions. You can pause the video, go through them. Now we'll move on. Then we have inverse functions, and these are the formulas. Again, you can pause them and you can quickly go through them. Now we will see a problem where you will have problems with square and stuff. Now, again, it is over here, you need to first understand which formula is required. When you look at this, you will know that's tan inverse formula. But tan inverse formula is 1 by 1 plus x squared. There is a squared, that's constant term, is bothering because that is not supposed to be there. So what do we do now? Anyways, this is the formula to use. Now rewrite the equation to, you should rewrite this to the above form. We need to get this. How do we rewrite? We should remove this a square, right? Let's remove the a square out. How do we remove it? Let us multiply and divide by a square over here. Basically, this is 1, isn't it? If you multiply by 2 and divide by 2, it's 1. So you won't make any difference with this original function. So that's fine. You're just manipulating this a square and a square. Now, this is important. You will just multiply the denominator. Why? Because this gets 1, isn't it? Whereas this remains, and all you're doing is multiplying just the denominator. Now, all you need to do is cancel this out. A square becomes 1, and this, take it out, it's in the denominator, so it'll be 1 by a square, integral 1 by 1 plus x by. Now this is another crucial thing, x by a the whole square dx. I just realized I've just repeated the same step. Sorry, there's nothing new in this. You do not need to write that. Now, after this, it's directly over here. Over here, you have just written the square outside because both are square, so bracket square. Now it is similar to this, isn't it? 1 by 1 plus. Instead of x, we have x by a. That's fine. You can do the u substitution. Take u as x by a. Now integrate this. Du by dx, over here x will be 1 by a. Take dx to the other side, and over here comes a. It'll be a du equals dx. Now substitute over here. It'll be 1 by 1 plus. Instead of x by a, you need to put u square a du. A and A cancels, the A square and A cancels. So you're remaining with 1 by A, 1 by 1 plus U square du. Remember, this is tan inverse formula for U. But we are not over. This is tan inverse U, but what did we substitute U as? X by A. So we resubstitute it back, and this is the answer. So this is how we get this answer. So now over here in these problems, you can see all this. Just do the same thing and then you can easily solve it. Please try it by yourselves and then do it. Or you can find the pattern. In the last video, I was talking about the patterns. Now look over here. Whenever you have a square over here, what do? Understand which is this formula. 1 by root of 1 square 1 square minus x square is sine inverse formula. All you need to do is add this x by a. Why? Because in order to remove this, you have to divide over here by a square. So u will be x by a. So that's it. That's the simple thing. Sorry, again over here there is the error. Over here you can see this is about secant inverse, and you can go through it by yourself. You can find the similarity and patterns. If you do not understand the patterns, if you're getting too much confused, it's fine. You can just use the long method, that is the u substitution, and you'll definitely get the correct answer. So please go through all these and directly you can get this answer. So now over here, this is very simple. Why? Because you're just removing the 4 common out and then you're simplifying, So you can just remove this common terms out, and then over here also see 2 is removed out, and over here 4, it will be 1 by 2, then 1 by, let me just do it. So it will be 2 outside and 4 is removed common out. So what is remaining? 1 by 1 plus x squared dx. So I hope you understand this. 1 by 2 tan inverse x plus c. So this is how we get it. Now, whichever method is easy, comfortable, just use that and you can easily solve it. Don't come to this video directly. Please watch them in continuity, because the video number 5, 6, and 7 are on the same topic, same page number. It's almost the same. Sorry, 6 and 7 are exactly the same, whereas 5 is similar to this. The 8th topic is to integrate trigonometric functions. Before we begin this topic, let us quickly run through a few of the basic trig function formulas. Starting from Pythagorean trigonometric identity, it is sine square x plus cos square x, and just by moving cos and sine to the other side, we get these. Similarly, we have secant square x minus tan square x equals 1. Moving around, we can get the other two. Similarly, over here, these are the basic ones. Double angle identities, you might have remembered. Sine 2x is 2 sine x cos x. And similarly, this x can be theta or x. Generally, it depends on situations. Over here, your questions generally will be in x, in terms of x. So then these over here are very important integration identities. Here, you have definitely come across this many times in this term. One important thing I want to point out is whenever your answer is cos, you will have a negative sign. You can see over here this negative, negative, negative. Whereas if it is sine, integral of cos x is sine x, doesn't matter. When the answer is cosine or cotangent or cosecant, you will have a negative sign. And you can pause the video over here and quickly go through the formula, memorize them, and then now we will move on to the problems. Evaluate cos to the power 4x sin x. Before we continue, I just want to make this one thing clear. Cos 4 to the power 4x is equal to, in calculator if you're using it, it'll be cos x the whole power 4. Okay. Now, When do you square x? That is only when it is cos x to the power 3, for example. Then it is x3. Okay, it is cos x3. Sorry for my writings. Okay, now it's x3. So I hope this is clear. Whenever it is cos 4x, you will have whole power 4, whereas when it is to the power x to the power 3, it is only to the x. Now we will see this problem. Here you need to do u substitution. But how do you choose which u? What do you do? Look carefully. Cos to the power 4. You can directly you just can't directly assume you need to think a bit, because in some problems you need to do comparative analysis, and then comparative I mean you need to compare what happens, the consequences, and then select the appropriate u. Say for example you take u over here, it'll be u to the u as cos over here, it'll be u to the power 4, and then derivative of cos is sine, and it'll come down. You can cancel the sign. The sign will dissolve, so you will have only u to the power 4. Let us see this. If you choose u to the power u is equal to cos x, derive this now. Du by dx is negative sine x. We don't care about the sign. We just want this gone. Now, what is dx? Dx is du by sine x, but this minus sign. So now you can substitute back over here in the question. See, instead of this cos to the power 4x sine x, we can write u to the power 4. Sine x remains for now, but dx is negative du by sine x. Now the sine x and cancels, right? So what are you remaining with? It's negative integral u to the power 4 du. Don't forget u is substituted as cos, so substitute that back. It will be negative cos to the power 5x by 5 plus c. So this is the answer. Now, this is the substitution, u substitution. There is a shortcut method as well. There is a direct calculator method. You can follow the link below in the description. You can get more detailed and more types of problems in that. But now I will do a couple of problems with the calculator method over here. You have been given integral of this particular thing and you have found the integral. Now, before going to the calculator method, let me make make you understand better. Now, if you have 3x square, what is going to happen? Integrate this. The answer would be integral 3x square. Now 3 remains. Let me integrate this 3 as it is. X square becomes to the power 3 divided by 3. You raise the power by 1. And then you write plus c because it's a constant. And now this cancels. What is remaining? X cube plus c. Now, if you derive this, you must get the question back, right? Let's derive this now. 1 second. Let's quickly derive over here. It will be d by dx. That is dy by dx. This is the derivative. It will be 3x square. Now, it doesn't matter which constant it is. Let it be 10, 20 or any number. It will become 0. So, you're remaining with 3x square. Now, once you integrate, you will get some answer. That is x cubed plus 3c. But when you derive this, you will get back the question. So there is a relationship between integral and derivative. That is very basic and common. You know that there is a relationship between integral and derivative. But if you do definite integral and definite derivative, also there is a relationship. Now I will tell you what it is. Take your calculator. Over here, all you need to do is assume some x value. Now what do you do? Assume some x value. It can be any value, but you must be careful. If it's a rational function, don't make the denominator 0. Say for example you have 2 minus x. Don't make the x as 2 because this will become 0 undefined. You can't solve it. Now over here, since it's trigonometry, you need to make it in radian first. Shift, mode and 4. Now I will assume a x value of anything like 5. Okay, let me go with 5. You can choose any. Don't choose big values. It will take a lot time to calculate. It's better to go with 2, 3. But over here, just for, I'm just taking 5 anyways. You can change this and try. You will get the same answer again. Now over here in the first step, just put the x value in this given equation. Not the integral, not this symbol, no, just this as it is. Cos, instead of x, you just put phi. The whole power 4. Use the brackets appropriately, or you need to know the powering must be accurate. Now we are sine x is phi. The answer is it's a negative 6.208, and it goes on into 10 to the power minus 3. So it is 1, 2, 3. So it is 0, negative 0.00628 and so on. But anyways, this is there, so it's fine. Now save it. This works only when you have options, and since this is in part A, and even if it's in part B, you can do this method because you will have options. Only in writing problems this won't be applicable. You need to have you need to know the answers. You will have 4 options. So what you need to do is just consider any one of the option, and you need to try this for or try this method. Now over here we have the answer, so I'll directly consider this. You need to do definite derivatives, that is shift and the symbol, you get this dy by dx. Now at the x you need to derive. I'll just type this negative cos to the power phi, negative cos alpha x, close the bracket, and to the power raised to the power phi divided by phi. Over here, you do not need to write c because c is a constant. It will be 0, so you can ignore that. And now what is the x value? We solve for phi. Don't change that. Please use the same phi. And now solve. It will be exactly the same. Now over here, if you write any constant, say any constant number, it'll be the same answer. It does not change. Why? Because the derivative of the constant will be 0. So it doesn't make a difference. If it's a small or a big number, it's the same. But now, if I even change a little bit over here, instead of 5, let it be 3. The answer is entirely different. Or let this 5 be the same. Let me just change the power over here. Say instead of 5, let it be 4. The answers are all different. Instead of cos, let me put 2 cos. This was 5. See, the answer is different. Only for the exact answer, whenever is the accurate, correct answer, when you do the x value, only that will give you the same answer. So you need to do this method for all the 4 options. Whenever you get the same answer, stop it. That's your answer. You can check it for all 4. You can see 3 will give you inaccurate answer, whereas only 1 will give you the exactly correct answer. So this is the shortcut method. Now I will do over here, these are all basic direct definite integrals. Now cos and sine we did, but what about cot and cosecant? It's the same. Let me do this one over here. Sorry, let me go back. This is the answer. Now there is an error in this answer. It should be minus cot cube x by 3. It's negative u cube by 3. You can do this method and you can see there will be negative sign, but this negative is missed over there, so I've just written it over there. Now you need to again assume a x value. You can assume anything. I'll take, say for example, 3 or 2. It's up to you. You will get the same answer. Even if you take 0.5, you can try it. You will get the same answer. Now what do you do? Over here, cot is not there, but we know cot is 1 by tan. So put 1 divided by tan. Just whatever we did now, just a while ago. Put the value 2 and square this up. Multiply it with, what is cosecant? It is 1 by sine. 1 divided by sine, 2, and square it up again. Okay, if it was secant, it is 1 by cos, and cosecant is 1 by sine. Now what is the answer I'm getting? It's nearly a quarter. So all I need to do is write this. I just double check. Yes, it's all right. Now I will write the answer 0.2533. Okay, now all you need to do is definite derivative of this particular answer. Dy by dx, it is negative. Now over here, you need to write 3 bottom, yes, but what is cot? It's 1 by tan. So again use this, write 1 by tan x. Don't directly put the value 2. No, you need to put x over here because otherwise you can't solve it. And don't write the plus c because that will be 0. Doesn't matter. Now press 2. The answer. Okay, what did I do wrong? I have not cubed it. Sorry. because the answer will be definitely same. I know for sure. So I got a different answer. I know some error I've done over here. So it is power 3, which I forgot. Now let me press equal to. It'll be the exact same answer. Now, when you are doing it the exam, please be accurate. Don't miss anything. Double check. Do it accurately, because now I knew this is the correct answer, so it should match. But in your case, you'll have four options. Make sure you do it accurately. If none are the answers, then that means you've not done it accurately. So this is the shortcut method. If it is, cot or tan, it's fine. You can just do this by using 1 by tan or 1 by sine and so on. All the answers are solved. You can pause the video and solve it by yourself and then check the answers. Try solving it by yourselves. So these are the answers over here. So this is it. Now, your definite integrals you can directly do directly in the calculator, but otherwise you can do the other calculator method as well. The ninth topic is to integrate rational functions using partial fractions. Here, let us look into partial fraction expansion at the beginning, and then we will see how to integrate it. Now, imagine you have a rational function like this. It's in fractions. Now, you can see the numerator is lower than the denominator. So then, in this particular topic 9, you generally will have such problems. What you need to do is basically you need to simplify this in terms of two terms, because there is no formula which you can solve the denominator from. So all you're doing is splitting this denominator. You can use the calculator, or you can find the factors and do it. If you're using the calculator to split, it is mod 5 and 3, and then you need to put the coefficients 1, -1 and -2. Now over here your values are 2 and -1. But remember that is x is equal to 2, x is equal to -1. When you write it in terms of factors, it'll come inside. So it is x minus 2, x plus 1. So these are the factors. You bring it inside, and these are the factors: x plus 2, x plus 1, and x minus 2. And now you will have to get two terms which are equal to this. Now you might be confused about this at once. Let me make it a bit easier. Now imagine, say 5 by 8. Okay, this 5, no, okay, that's a bit hard, but I'll write two terms and then. Now let me take, for example, 3 by 5 plus 2 by 7. Okay, these are two factors. Now let me add them up. 3 by 5 plus 2 divided by 7. What is the answer? It is 31 divided by 35. So the answer is 31 divided by 35. What I'm trying to say over here is, this is 31 by 35. You can see this can be written as 31 by divided by, instead of 35, I can write 5 into 7. So similarly, we have over here, this is a term which we do not know, but we can write this term in terms of this number divided by a factor plus another number divided by the another factor. So over here, when I solve it up, you can get it, but it's very hard to determine these two terms. I know 5 times 7, and then if it's numbers, it's very easy. I mean, not very easy, you can just think and figure it out, but over here it is a bit hard, right? So you need to get these two numbers. We can do it by the next methods. And then once you have the numbers, then you can apply and solve. You can apply the integral separately because it's plus. But if it is multiplying, we do not have the formula. That is why we do this method over here. Now similarly, over here I have 35. I have done 5 and 7 plus these two numbers. I cannot understand which are these numbers. I need to solve it and now find it out. Now, how do we do it is very simple. You are manipulating this by trying to get the denominators equal. If all the denominators are equal, then we can equate the numerators. So what is missing over here? The common factor. Over here, x plus 1 is there. So multiply and divide by x minus 2. Basically, you're not doing any error. this is cancels and it's 1. This is the same thing. You're just manipulating over here and multiply the factor which is not there, that is x minus 2 divided by x minus 2, and b times x plus 1 divided by x plus 1. You can see we have just multiplied the unknown factors. Now look at the denominators. They are all same. The denominators and the numerators can be added up. Now we can equate 6x equals a times x minus 2 plus b times x plus 1. Now over here, what you need to do is take the x values. This x, take x plus 1, take 1 to the other side, will be x equals negative 1. So in order to find a and b, put the negative 1, x equals negative 1, and solve. Over here, wherever x is there, you should put negative 1 and solve. You will get a as 2. So now you have found the a value. And what next? You need to put x as 2 over here for the next b value. Solve it, you will get the b value, that is 4. So this is how we can find the a and b. And now we can rewrite this fraction. The given one is equal to this. All this method is not of integration. It is just to rewrite this. Integral of this is equal to integral of this. Now I can easily solve it, right? I know 2 divided by x plus 1 integral will be 2 into natural logarithm of x plus 1 plus c. Now here you do the same thing, 4 natural logarithm um, x minus 2 plus c. So this is why we do all this. Then we can integrate it. So this is basically the partial fraction expansion. You're not doing the integral over here, but this is the step. Then we have to integrate it. So now over here, if you're looking into this problem, all you need to do is, see, first rewrite the denominator into two terms and then write a and b. Now, which is the term that is not there? Multiply up and down over here. Same thing with b. X plus 1 is there, so you have to multiply up and down. Multiply and divide by x minus 1. Now, the numerators are all same, isn't it? X minus 5 over here, x minus 1, x plus 1. Same thing over here. And now one more thing. How we got this x plus 1, x minus 1 is by solving this denominator. X square minus 1. You can either use calculator, or it is like a square minus b square is a plus b, a minus b. Or you can do the mod phi 3 in calculator and solve. Now here, this is the numerator. You can equate the numerator. Why? Because the denominators are all same. So equate the numerators, you will get this. Now over here, substitute x value as 1. And then you can find the a value and put it as minus 1 and find the b value. Now you can write the given term over here as these two terms. Now just integrate this. You can't integrate the left side because denominator is multiplying. We don't have a formula. But over here, right side, it's the same thing. These both are equal, isn't it? Now integrate it. It will be negative 2. Only 1 by x plus minus 1. It is natural logarithm magnitude of x minus 1. The same thing over here. Whenever we have 1 by x, we know it is ln or ln or natural logarithm x. So this is how we solve it. Now that's the answers. Also, you can apply the calculator method even over here. I'll just quickly do it. We have done it a while ago. We did it in the last video in detail. So please refer to the previous video or the link. I have put a description. I have put a link to the video in the description, which teaches you in different types of problems how we can directly solve the calculator method. Please refer that as well. Now over here, when you're evaluating, first thing you should assume a x value. Make sure the x value will not make this terms negative. So if you take 1, it is not possible. This will be undefined and over here it's negative, it's wrong. So take more than 1 and don't take even 5 because over here you'll get 0. So try to take a value which is, which will yield a proper value, proper answer. So I will take 3 over here. That's fine. It will fit over here and over here. So I will assume x to be 3, or you can take 5, 6, 7, 8, anything. But just that will take a lot of time to calculate. That's why. It will be quick, but it's better to take a smaller value, which will fit all the boxes. Now, instead of x, I put 3 minus 5 divided by 3 square minus 1. And what is the answer? I got negative 1 by 4. That is equal to negative 0.25. So this is the answer. You can check SD. Now, all I need to do over here is same thing, but with definite derivative. So all I have to do is write it as it is, natural logarithm alpha x minus 1, close the bracket. Now plus 3 natural logarithm alpha x plus 1, close the bracket, and then c is the constant, it will be 0, so don't write it. And now write x value. Again, I'll remind you, don't put x over here as 3, you will get an error. You must put the x value over here as 3. And what is the answer? It is negative 0.25. Only one answer will give you the correct answer, and this is the correct one. So in other options can be eliminated because they will not give you negative 2.5, 0.25. They'll give you something else. Only one will be correct. So this is how you can easily solve it. Please do try it by yourself and then check the answers. All the answers over here have been shown. So please refer them. But first do it by yourself. Check it. If you're doing the calculator method, you can just double check it with the answers. Check it and you can do it. So these are all the answers. You can pause it and you can go through them. The topic number 10 is on separable differential equations. Now, separable, as the name says, you need to separate them. The topic 10, it's in part A. It's a very simple and basic one over here. All you need to do is figure out whether they can be separated or no. Let's look into this problem over here. See, all you have to aim to try to do is separate the x terms and the y terms. You can see there is y dash. Take this cos y to the other side. Now it will be y dash divided by cos y. Over here you only have x. Numbers doesn't matter. It should be only x and only y. What does y dash mean? Y dash is dy by dx. Now in this, keep the dy to one side and dx to the other side. So dy by cos y equals 3x plus 1 dx. Now this is separated. So this is a separable differential equation. Not all the time they are separatable. Now look at this term. Think for a while. You might just think, okay, take this y to the other side and it'll be y dash divided by cos y. Bring the y to the other side, minus y equals 3x. But is it okay? No, because dy by dx, then cos y minus y. Now, how do you remove this to the other side? It's not possible. You need to make the common different and there will be a x and y term together. It is not possible. Another way to check it is, this is dy by dx. So take dx to the other side. It will be dy over here divided by cos y. Cos y is equal to 3x plus y dx. Now when you multiply inside, you will have y dx. There are various ways to check that this is not differentiable because you have these terms together. So remember, it should be smooth and easy to move to other terms, and you must all have in multiplication. Or if it's an addition, it's fine, but all the terms must be together, separated. Sorry, y and x should be separated. Here, even if you try anyway, it's not possible. So it's not separate. It's not separable differential equation. Same way, you can try the other ones. Over here, all the answers are written. So please do check them and then see whether they are correct. Try to solve them by yourself and then check for the answers. Hello everyone, welcome back to the part 2 of the end of term 3 exam videos. I am Justin D'Souza, your math teacher, and this is my channel Best Math. If you're visiting this channel for the first time, welcome, warm welcome. And this is my channel where you can find math videos, explanation videos, tricks, shortcuts of different mathematic problems. If you found it useful, please do subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. And also I want to thank all those who have subscribed to my channel, all those who shared my channel and like the videos. Thank you very much. And please do continue to support me. Now, in this part 2, we will be going on with the question number 11 to the question number 20. We will start with the question number 11. It's area between the curves. Now, if you're looking into this, you will recognize we had solved the similar problem in the part 1 as well. If you're all new to it, I would suggest you or highly recommend you to go to the part 1 first, because all the explanation videos of the part 1 are very useful if you watch in continuity, because then this will be much easier. Nonetheless, I'll be explaining this thoroughly over here now. To find the area between curves. Now we have two curves over here. X is equal to g of y and x is equal to f of y. One is in pink and one is in blue. Now the limits are given from C to D. How would you find this area? The area is given by, from the limit, whichever is considered, in this case it's C to D, you need to find the right function, the right side, that is f of y, minus the left side. That's it. That will give you the answer. Now, it's basically the right function minus the left function in simple terms. So now, over here, this function will be given and this will be given. But now there is one thing. Okay, it's so simple, right? But generally, if you remember, your questions will be in terms of y is equal to x squared plus 2 or y is equal to x plus 3, something like this, isn't it? Now, what do we do? Because here they're asking for x. And how do we understand where or which side to take, or, it's very complicated, right? Let me make it easy. Now, if you have this x and y axis, sorry for those axes, okay, x and y, imagine you have a line like this and a curve like this, a function like this. These are the functions. And you have to find the area between them. Which is the axis that comes, parallel or exactly in between them, not across, in between. If it's like this, you see the x-axis is in between them, isn't it? So then we will have to keep the functions with respect to x, that is f of x or g of x. Okay, so that means this is the example, say this one over here. That would be the best example, because now the function at the right side, y is alone, leave that is the function. What is the given over here? X squared plus 2. If it is across the, if it is across x-axis and x-axis is coming in between, you must always have your equations like this. But now look over here, it is f of y, and you see this, sorry, this is the y-axis and the y-axis in between the two functions. Then you need to have the function with respect to y, that is g of y or f of y. What do you do? Now, if this is your equation, take everything to the other side and keep x alone. That would mean take this to the other side. Y minus 2 equals x squared. X squared, I'll bring it to the left side, just swapping the positions. Y minus 2. Take square root on both the sides. You will get x equals root of y minus 2. This is the equation which we will be using. Similarly, over here, it would be x equals y minus 3. This would be the equation we will be using. So I hope you understand the difference on when to change or when to swap. So it depends on the figure. Okay. Now we will see the problem. You will understand much better. Say, for example, over here, we have find the area bounded by the graphs of y equals x squared, y equals 2 minus x, and y equals 0. So this is it, right? First, you need to understand a little bit of the function by graphing. Even if you do not graph, you can solve it, but graphing makes it much easier. Now, you have this graph over here. Y equals x squared. What does that mean? Okay, I will just draw a rough graph. Y equals x squared. I know it's a parabola. It will go something like this. Brilliant. What about 2 minus x? That means, see, now it's going like this, right? Minus means it's going downwards. You need to draw a line like this, something like this. Okay, so this is the basic understanding of graph. Why? Because over here minus is this, so it will go downwards. This is parabola, upwards. And y is equal to 0. That means all the values above 0. See, this is the region of solution. All above. See, now when you practically draw them, don't not above. Now it's just this is the line, right? Find the area from y equals 0. That means this would be the region, right? This is the enclosed region, not this one, because all the three must be considered. So over here, this is the region that will be formed. Okay, that is the basic understanding. Now you can see over here, it is just like that, x squared. This is the 2 minus x and y is equal to 0. Now, if you look closely, you will understand which axis is along this. That is the y-axis over here, isn't it? If it is x, yes, x also can be solved. But you know there are two separate limits. From here to here, it's a different function. For x, it is upper minus lower. See, upper minus lower, upper minus lower. Whereas for y-axis, if you're solving with respect to y-axis, look over here. Right function minus left. Class, that's it. So this is the thing. Now we will see, after this basic understanding, we will rearrange these terms, rearrange them and get in terms of x. That means, okay, it is in terms of y. Get x is equal to, okay, what I mean over here is, get x is equal to everything else. So x is equal to what? How do we do this? Take square root on both the sides. That time x is equal to root of y. Here, just change this x to the other side and bring y to the other side. There'll be 2 minus y. Now, you need to find the point of intersection. Where does this meet? You can find the point of intersection by just equating these both equations. Instead of x, just equate these both. That is root y equals 2 minus y. Now, when you solve these, you will get the answer. Now, how would you solve? You should solve it as a quadratic, isn't it? Now, when you solve it as a quadratic, what happens? You can't solve it directly now because square root, it's very complicated. How do you do it? It's sorry, not quadratic. You need to remove the square root. That's what I meant over here. How do you remove the square root? Is squaring on both the sides. Square on both the sides. That will be y equals 2 minus y the whole square. Now, when you have y equals 2 minus y the whole square, how do you simplify this? It is 2, I'll just write over here, a minus b the whole square. That is a square minus 2ab plus b square. I hope you remember this identity. You must remember this identity. It is a minus b the whole square identity. Now, directly solve this up. It'll be 2 square, that is 4. I'll directly write it over here. 2 square is 4. A value is 2 and b value is y. So 2 square is 4 minus 2 times AB. 2 into y into 2 because this 2 is extra, right? 2 times 2 is 4 and y plus y square. Now all you need to do is, this is it. Now you need to just rearrange and get the terms. I'll just show over here. So you have 4 minus 4y plus y square. Now get this y to the other side. Get all the terms to one side and one side must be equal to 0. So this is it. You're equating everything to 0. Why do we do this? Because now we can easily solve it in calculator using more, 5 and 3. And now what you can do is put the coefficients 1, minus 5, and then we have 4 and solve. We are getting 4 and 1. Now let's keep both those values in our minds. So 4 and 1, right? So what is the initial value given over here? It's 0. So we know one of the limit is 0 on the y-axis because we're dealing with the y-axis. In the formula, we know it will start from 0 over here or over here. But what are the values? We got 1 and 4. So 1 is the nearest one. So first intersection point is at 1. So we will take 0 and 1. If it was minus 1, minus 4, we would have taken minus 1 to 0. Okay, always the lower value to upper value. But the problems will be accordingly given. We don't take 4 because 4 is another meeting point, but we have got this, we need just this area already, okay? So we take 0 and 1. And therefore 4 is beyond the limit, we ignore it. Now last one is to substitute it in the formula and solve. This was the formula we saw, integral CD f of y minus g of y dy. All you do is What is the right function? Right is 2 minus y minus square root y dy from 0 to 1. Put it in the calculator. It is very straightforward. Use this symbol over here, integral, definite integral. And then you just use the brackets. 2 minus, there is no y value, so use x minus, sorry, square root alpha x. Just remember that is that though it's x, we are just using that as a variable. Okay, and then limits are from 0 to 1, and here you get the answer. Take a while. It's 0.8333 units square because it's the area. That's it. So that is the answer. That's how we solve it. Very straightforward. Please make sure you solve by using the same method, then all are solvable. And all the methods are over here. See, it is same like what we had done, but over here there is no square. Okay, we had square over here, and then everything is same. So you can see here what will happen. 2 minus y minus y. Why? Because there is no square. The other one we had square over here. That was the difference. The answer is 2. So for few of the problems, you can easily use basic geometric formula and compare the area. Now, this is not possible all the cases. Now, over here, no, it's not possible. We can't use geometric formula. Over here, it's not possible. But over here, look at this. With the basic graphing, you know this is a y is equal to x is straight, then minus 2x is like this, 0. What is the intercept? Over here, it is 0 and 2. Then we can use the triangle formula. Half base into height. Base is 2 and height is 1. We get that in the intersecting points. 2, 2, the answer is 1. You can just compare this. But you know, obviously, if you do one method, it's enough. And this is an MCQ, so only this much is enough. This is extra method. But if you just follow whatever I showed it over here by steps, you can solve all this. Please follow all the steps. You will definitely be able to follow this. Only the values have been changed over here. And over here, this is a trapezoid. Trapezoid means if you have a triangle, if you remove the top part, the remaining part is a trapezoid. You can use this formula over here and solve it. Similarly, you can compare it. It'll be the same. So these are the answers over here. You can quickly go through them. Just the method which I just told you, and then you can easily solve. And please go back to the first topic and second topic as well, because we had solved them. See, some of they were similar. Now, some of only the differences over here along the y-axis, the right and minus the left function. In the first topics, we did upper minus lower function. Some of the functions are given directly as x is equal to y and everything. It's very easy to solve them, and sometimes you need to change them and then solve. All the problems are solved, and the graphing is also given. So please solve it by yourself and then look for the answers. That's it. The 12th topic is again find the area between two curves using definite integrations. Let's just recall the formulas and we will directly solve this, not by any formula or anything, but just the main understanding of this is essential. Now, for example, when you have two functions, the formula is given like this: the upper function minus the lower function. Now, x-axis is between them, so we are solving with respect to x, f of x, okay, with respect to x. And now what happens is, this upper function minus the lower function, because this upper function means all the values below this is included, minus the lower function means all the values this is excluded. Now these will be excluded, only the shaded region will be considered. So it is always the upper function f of x minus the lower function g of x, and the limits are a to b. Similarly, we saw just in the previous video this particular formula where we find the area between the curves, and now with respect to y-axis it will be the right function minus the left function. These are the basic things. Now the next one over here, this type of problem, you don't need to solve all that just like what we have done in the previous video or before that. You don't need to do all that, but here this is very crucial. For example, understanding the concept, that is it. Now let's look at this figure. The figure is given in terms of a1, a2, a3. Identify the area given by each integral. They have given you definite integrals. Now, the obvious thing would be just solve it up, right? Okay, let's use our calculator and try solving it using definite integral. 2 alpha x minus x squared, and the limits are from 0 to 2. Okay, so it's 4 by 3. But do you think anyway the 4 by 3 is there? No, they want you in terms of, a1, or say like this. Let me just show you in terms of a2 or a1 plus a2. That is what they want. How would you understand this? 4 by 3 is 1.33. Now, one way is, you have to find the area of the entire thing and then find the area of each things, and then you will get it. But the easiest way would be, look at the functions which are in consideration. 2x, this is the figure. Where is 2x? 2x is this, right? Okay, what about the next function, x squared? Which is the next function? It is this. So you can see, if you draw a straight line, upper function minus the lower function, upper function minus the lower function along this axis, x-axis, and it starts from 0 to 2. So which is the area in between from 0 to 2? This area, whichever I put brown color shading, is the region. Okay, that is very bad shading, but you get it. So that is A2, area 2. So this answer is basically A2, that's it. So now you can see over here the same thing. Area 2 is the answer. Now let's see the next one. What about this? 4 minus x squared. Now let us see 4. Where is 4? We know x squared is over here. Okay, that is fine. Then where is 4? This is the thing. Again, from 0 to 2, it's x-axis, but the upper function minus the lower function. Upper function is 4 minus the lower function. So which are the regions in between this from year to year? All the regions in between this. You can see that is A1 and A2. So sum of them, A1 plus A2, that would be the answer. That's how we do it. Now, same way we can solve all the others, but right now, pause the video and try solving it by yourself. Just go through this. Pause it over here, solve it, do all the answers, and then we will look into the answers together. So that is it. Now we will see over here. I hope you have paused and tried. Now this A1, A2, A3 total is the, over here it's a triangle. Sorry, my bad, it's a rectangle. It looks like a square, but since the dimension 4 and 2, it's a rectangle. Now let's see, but we do not need to know whether it's a rectangle, square, it doesn't matter. We just need to denote it by areas. Over here, 0 to 4, when you look at this limit, you must understand we are dealing with the y-axis. Now, so 2, where is 2 over here? 2 is this line, and then root y, square root of y. Look carefully, you have x, y equals x squared. Take the root on both the sides. What's going to happen? It's going to be x equals root y. So that means this function and this function is what we are considering. The right function minus the left. Right side is 2 minus the left side will give you this region of area, isn't it? So the answer is A3 for this. Right minus left along the y-axis. So it is A3. Now, this is for you guys. Try it now. Pause the video and try it. I hope you tried it. Again, it's the same thing. Blue one is root y, because you can take the square root on both the sides. This is going to be square root y. This is the blue function. And then we have y by 2. This is solved. Take y to the other side. X equals y by 2. So that means this one. And it is along y-axis 0 to 4, isn't it? So it will be right side minus the left side, which is in consideration. A2 is the answer. A2. So this is it. That is how we can solve it. Just by looking at this, you can easily solve it. Choose the correct option. Now, similarly, you can do these as well. Over here, A2 plus A3 is there. You need to write in terms of equation. We just now saw that. Now, you have A2 and A3. This, sorry, now it's very, very tricky. Okay, anyways, this one and this one, okay? 2, this is the first function, right function. 2, sorry, A2 and A3, before we see the answers. Only this region we need, okay? this region. So now you can do one thing. The right side, right function minus the left function is the easier one. Don't go with the x-axis because it'll be this minus this and then limits. You can do it. It's up to you. It's fine. But it's much easier like this. Right side, that is 2, radius is 2, minus a a2 a3, this function. What is that? That is given by not 2x. You must write in terms of y, because y, it's a right minus left y-axis integral from 0 to 4. 2 minus, take the 2 to the other side, will be y divided by 2. Now just now we solved, over here we told a1 a2 a3 so on. Now here they have given a1 a2, you must write the equation same like that. Now if it is a1 plus a2, similarly you can do the same thing over here. Now we have just now solved over here, remember? See, where did we do that? A1 and a2, it's over here, a1 plus a2. So this is the thing. Now why a1 and a2 is the a1 a2, upper function minus the lower function. You must remember when to use upper function and lower function, right and left. If you're getting confused, please go to the previous video. It has been explained in the 11th topic clearly, so that concept is used over here. Same way you can see this by yourself and then solve it, because we just now did these. Now it's the other way around. So that is it for this topic. Please be careful with the formulas. Just remember the limits. Now, whenever you're dealing with the x-axis limit, that means it's upper and lower, upper function minus lower function. When you're dealing with y, it's a right side minus the left side. So that's the main concept. The 13th topic is on the surface area, where we need to find the surface area for solid. Now using definite integration. This is a very simple one, provided we use a simple formula. Now, for example, if you want to find the surface area of this, all you need to know is this formula. Now, this is already derived. You have to just substitute this and solve it. So you do not need to, break your head on the derivation or anything for now. I'll just explain you what this formula means. If you recall, the surface length was similar to this, but only thing is this 2 pi is added. In surface area, this is added because it's a circle, right? So we add the 2 pi. And now, other than that, this is square root 1 plus f dash of x the whole square. This is important because you need to find the derivative of the given function. And then this is the function as it is. I'm sorry, this is the extra term, I believe, 2 pi f of x. Whereas this would be the surface length. And this is it's like 2 pi r. The circumference is added basically. Now the integral from a to b, the limits will be given. We will look into a problem. So this is a problem. Find the surface area generated by revolving this particular equation. X to the power 4 for x is greater than 0 but less than or equal to 1. It's greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 1 about the x-axis. Now all you need to do is first differentiate this, because in the formula we need the differentiation, isn't it? So differentiate this. X equals x to the power 4. This 4 comes down, you'll get 4x to the power 3. That is the differentiation. That is f dash of x or y dash. The limits are given 0 to 1. Use the formula and simply solve it directly. Use the formula 2 pi f of x. What is the function? Function is x to the power 4. Then square root 1 plus f dash is 4x to the power 3, the whole square. That's it. Now all you need to do is put it in the calculator and solve. Your answer would be 3.44. We can just do it over here. Use the integral. Now 2 pi is by shift and the symbol over here, into the function that is alpha x to the power 4, multiplied with square root 1 plus. Now, it's better to use the brackets because there are two terms. 4 alpha x cube, close the bracket and square it up. That's it. And now the limit is from 0 and it goes until 1. This is your answer. Now, if you're thinking, why didn't I use radians? There is pi or anything. No, we don't use radian. Pi, it doesn't matter. Only when the theta or angle comes, we have to change to radian. Because the angle, radians, it's basically 2 pi will in degrees is 360 degree. If you don't change the mode, it will consider to be 360 degree, whereas generally it will be given in pi. We have to solve in pi radians. That would mean pi is 180 degree, right? So that's why. But anyways, just forget that. The best way and the easy way to remember it is, if you got cos theta, angles, tan theta, sine theta, then you need to use the radian mode. Okay. It doesn't matter if you don't use, but generally otherwise it's in degree mode. So now this is the degree. It's 3.44 because 6, this increases by 1. Same way you can solve these. Only remember, you need to derive this and then apply the formula and use the, just over here, just substitution. That's it. Same way you can do it. Now, please try all these by yourself and then check the answers, please. Now, here, all these problems are same way. It's only with the x-axis revolution and the limits are always given. And over here, you have the function. If it is sine, remember, you need to derive sine. It will be cos x. And please change to radian mode and solve. All the derivations are over here. You can look into it. The formula is not there, but the formula was mentioned over here. This is the formula. So please write that by heart, that formula. You should know the formula, otherwise you cannot solve it. So once you know the formula, substitute, solve, and then check the answers. Please don't get confused over here. The limit, it's from -2 to 0, because lower number, the smaller number is -2, negative numbers are smaller, 0 is greater than -2. That's why. So all these are shown over here. Please do solve them by yourself and then check for the answers. The 14th topic is among the easiest of all in part 2. And only thing is, you need to find the initial position and initial velocity. We'll directly look into the problems. These are the questions. If you have all, I'm sure by now you have known this concept already. So it's better you just try to do them by yourself. Please pause the video now and try to go through them at least. Now we will look to the how to solve them. Over here, the first one, an object is dropped from a height of 80 feet. What does that mean? It is being dropped from a height. Okay, the position we know, it's from here, somewhere 80 feet is the initial position. This is 80. Okay, do we know the velocity? Is it mentioned? No, nothing else. Only position, initial position. So why not? That is the initial position is 80 feet, whereas the velocity is unknown. So we just write it as 0. An object is dropped from a height of 100 feet. It's the same thing. See, now over here, let's just quickly see. These two are the same. Only over here, when you see the feet per second, there is velocity. So it's just y of 0. That's it. Y of 0 is 100 feet, and that's it. Nothing else. Whereas now an object is released from a height of 60 feet with an upward velocity of 10 feet per second. Initial position is given, y naught of 0 is 60. But this upward velocity is initial velocity, that is y dash of 0 of 10 feet per second. It's positive because it's upward. Now over here, similar to the previous problem, we have downward velocity. The height is 20 feet. Instead of 60, we are 20 over here. Now, what about this downward velocity of 4 feet per second? Y dash of 0 is 4 feet per second, but the sign is negative. That's the only thing. And this is it. That's why it's one of the simplest and the easiest among all of part 1. Now we move on to the topic of projectiles. Before I begin, I want to quickly remind you, you can see a link to the video on projectiles in the description. Please do check that video out. It is over an hour, but it is in detailed explanation on the topic of projectiles. The information might be useful to understand thoroughly to solve any type of problem. Now we will look into a couple of problems. Here we have, if a diving board is 4.5 meters above the surface of water and a diver starts with initial velocity of 2.4 meter per second in the upward direction, because it's positive then. What is the diver's velocity at impact, assuming no air resistance? This is very crucial. What is exactly impact? Now, he's already above 4.5 meters. This is the surface of the water. The impact would be when he comes and hits, the diving board comes and hits the surface. Impact. So the initial height over here is 4.5. See, this is the initial height. When the height is 0, that is called the impact height. The height of any time when it's 0, it's impact height. So now we directly can't find this. It's a long method. Now we'll see how it is. First, we don't have any equations over here, right? What do we know in general in real world? We know the acceleration due to gravity. But before that, let's write the given. We know h of 0, that is initial velocity, is 4.5. And the sorry, I'm wrong, sorry. Over here, it's initial position. Okay, it's very easy to get confused over here. Now, whenever you have a distance, that's the position, only distance. Meter per second is the velocity. The initial position is given as 4.5 meter and initial velocity is 2.4 meter per second. Next, you need to understand what needs to be solved. That is h dash of t, but at t is impact time. Okay. Now we know the acceleration due to gravity is negative 9.8 meter per second square. All you need to know, all you need to do is integrate this, and then you will get the velocity. Integration of acceleration gives you velocity, whereas integration of velocity gives you the position. Position can be written as s, or anyway, if you understand it's enough. Whereas in the previous term, we had derived it. If we derive position, we get velocity. Derivation of velocity is acceleration. But now it's other way around. We are coming backwards. Now, so we found the velocity, but this velocity is general velocity at any time t. How do we find, now when you integrate it, you will have a constant of acceleration, that is c. How do you find the c? You know the initial velocity at h dash of 0 is 2.4. So instead of time t, substitute 0. All you do is h dash of 0 now. We know that value is 2.4. So substitute over here wherever t is there as 0 and substitute this 2.4 meter per second in this case. H dash of 0 is 2.4. Right side, this becomes 0. What is remaining? C. So basically C is your, C value is the initial velocity. There is also another easy method where if you see anytime initial velocity or initial height is given, directly take that as the constant of acceleration. Sorry, constant of integration, C value. Why? Because it does not change, all the terms become 0. Only when there is trigonometric function, you cannot do that. Or some rare cases, you cannot do that. But in general, if you have a polynomial equation, you can just take this as C. Now, I hope you're clear until over here. We just took the acceleration. We know it's a constant value, integrated it, found the velocity. And to find the c, we substitute h dash of 0 and find the c value is 2.4. Now we can write h dash of t is minus 9.8 t plus 2.4. Okay, we found the velocity. But is this the velocity which we want? No, we need the impact velocity. How do we find the impact? We need to derive this again, find the position now first, because then we can find the impact time. Let us integrate this in, not derive, I told derive, sorry, integrate this, and you will get this as the answer. Now whatever integration of velocity, whatever you get is the position. Now this is useful. Why? Because we know the wait, first of all, substitute the c as to 4.5 directly, or you can substitute this zeros and do it. Now we got the position. Now over here, we know that the height, the impact height must be 0. Impact means it's touching the surface, it's touching the initial base. That must be 0. So you must understand this. This is the surface of water. There's a diver who is above 4.5 meter. Impact means it's touching the surface over here. So the initial height is 4.5, but the impact height will always be 0. So h of t must be 0. Now you can solve this as a quadratic equation. All you need to do is put in the calculator and solve. If you have not, if you do not remember this, just remember, take out your calculator, press more phi 3. This is how you solve quadratic equations. Now over here, you need to just put in the coefficients, 4.9, and then this is before x squared. Over here, x is not, it's t squared, it's fine. Then we have 2.4, and lastly we have 4.5, and the equations of the values are over here. Now it is minus 4.9 plus Okay, so these are the answers. It's 1.2 and 0.7, but negative. Now, over here, look carefully. We are getting two values. One is positive, that is 1.23, and one more is 0.74. You cannot take a negative value because we are considering this t as time, right? We are dealing with time, the position with respect to time t. Impact time cannot be negative. So just disregard this negative value, just take the positive value 1.23, and that will be a time. Now, what it means is, from the beginning, when this diver jumps, the time it takes for this diver from 4.5 meter to, reach the surface of the water is 1.23 seconds. Now, if you substitute this time, that 1.2 seconds, in this velocity equation, you're going to get impact velocity, because impact means touching the surface. And we can model the time, that is 1.23 seconds, is the impact time. Now, the velocity, when solving the equation of velocity at this impact time, we get the impact velocity. That is, just put over here instead of t as 1.2 and solve it, you will get the answer. This is the impact velocity. So that's how we solve it. Now let's see one more problem. Now it's similar. You need to solve it by yourselves. Solve more and more problems. You'll be thorough with this. Over here there is an object which is launched at an angle pi by 6 from the horizontal with initial speed v naught equals 98 meter per second. We need to determine the flight and the range of projectile. Just like the previous problem, let's write the given. The angle is given and initial velocity, initial speed is given. That is the velocity. Now sketch a graph to understand better. Now there's one thing over here. There is an angle, so we need to have two different orientation. That's the velocity in the vertical and horizontal, because there's an inclination for the launch. Now over here we get v naught, v naught sine theta for the vertical side and v naught cos theta for the horizontal side, and this over here is what is the projection of that, whatever is thrown. So now to solve, we need the time of flight. That means now this object is launched from here, right? How much time will it take when it reaches over here, when it reaches the ground? And then this distance that is covered by the object. Those are the two things we need to solve. But here now it's same like the previous one. Please be thorough with the previous problem, or you can just click on the description and watch that projectiles lesson. There are many real world problems. If you're thorough with it, this will be very easy. Use the acceleration. Now we will deal with the vertical component first. Acceleration in the vertical is always gravity acting downwards minus 9.8 meter per second square. Now we can find the velocity easily by integrating this, nothing much. And then we got this in terms of c. What is the c value? You need to find it. Now here you can't directly assume any value. You need to solve by finding this y dash of 0. What does y dash of 0 means? Y dash of 0 means over here the vertical component, initial velocity along the vertical component, because we have theta and the initial velocity given, right? So we need to solve for it. Y dash of 0 is 98 into sine pi by 6. You need to solve that. You will get 49 meter per second. That would be the c value. Sorry, let me just go back. Okay. See, now one quick thing. When you're solving this, use mode shift mode and 4 radians, and now type in the value 98 into sine of pi by divided by 6, close the bracket. That is the answer, 49. So then what you do is you just substitute this 49 in that c. We got the velocity. Now we can find the position by integrating this. Just easily find it out. Now over here the altitude is not mentioned. It's 0 from the base, so altitude is 0, so this is not there. This is basically the initial position. That is with regards to the vertical. Now how do we find the time of flight? Basically we know if you throw an object, it'll start from 0 and it lands when the height is 0. So basically, if you equate this as 0, the height as 0, you will find the starting and the ending time. So let us just solve this as mod phi 3, that is negative 4.9, and then we have 49. Now, this last one is 0. Now let me just solve this. We have got 10 and 0. What does it mean? Now try to understand over here. We have got this position function. Okay. Now when the height is 0, either you will be throwing the object upwards or it lands on the ground. Those are the only two possibilities. Why is it so? Why? Because when you throw, it is starting. So the time is 0. See, time is 0, t is 0, t value is 0 when you start. And when is the t value ending? When it finishes, when it falls down. So you get two values of t, that is 10 and 0. So when we substitute this y of t as 0 and solve it, we got t equals 10 and 0. Now 0 is the launch time basically, and the landing time is 10 seconds. Now basically landing time is the time of flight. That much minutes it was on flight. Now we have to just quickly solve the horizontal component. Horizontal component is not same as the vertical component, because if we go back, we can see, okay, it's okay. V sine theta is the horizontal component, vertical component, whereas the horizontal component is V cos theta. Now here what you need to do is understand that the acceleration due to gravity is only for the vertical. Acceleration on the horizontal component is not mentioned, so basically it's 0. The projectile is has only, gravity acting on it. They have not mentioned any other acceleration, so it's basically 0. And then we start solving the velocity. The velocity over here would be, integral of this. Basically it's again 0 and plus c, because we have only the constant of acceleration. What is that c value? You can easily find it by this formula: x dash of 0 is equal to v naught cos theta, and then you get that 98 cos theta. Over here you can use the calculator and solve it. We just now did this over here. Use radian mode. Please make sure you're using radian mode, and then you can write 49 root 3, and that, sorry, I'm mistaken. 98 into cos pi divided by 6. So this is it. Now over here you get 49 root 3. Now this one, 49 root 3, is basically the velocity, the horizontal velocity. Now to find the position, integrate this, you will get the answer. There is no, the c value is 0. Now all you need to do is add this time of flight over here. So this is the horizontal velocity, right? If you multiply it by the time, you basically will get the exact horizontal distance. So multiply it by 10, this is your horizontal distance. That is how we solve this. Same concept is used. You need to solve all these by yourselves. The explanations are over here. You can pause it and check it out. Please do solve it by yourself and then check for the answers. If you're getting any doubts, please click on the video link in the description that has explained entire projectiles lesson. So all this, you can just pause it and check the answers later on. So this is all this. That's it. Now we move on to the 16th topic. But before I start, I want to remind you that 16th topic is just the same as the 6th and the 7th topic. It's literally the same page number, question numbers, and the topic as well. It is just on integration. So I would highly recommend you to watch the previous topics, that is 6 and 7. I will also add the link to the video in the description for the videos 6 and 7, so you can, if you're all new to this particular video, pause over here, go back to those two videos, watch them, and then watch this. So over here, we need to recall the basic integration formula because it's about integrals. So this is the power rule. Then we have 1 by x, that is natural logarithm x plus c, sine the trigonometric formulas. Please pause the video. You need to revise it, recall them. You need to memorize these formulas. for integration. Again, I will repeat one thing. Whenever the answer is cos, you will have a negative sign. Wherever there is c, that is cosine or cotangent or cosecant, you will have negative. Similarly, there are more formulas on integrals of exponential functions. So these are the exponential function, tan, inverse formulas. Please go through them. You need to remember these. So then we will solve this type of problem over here, because the previous types, now one second, I will show you the 8 questions. These are the 8 questions. These are the 8 questions. We have dealt with all of these. So let me just go in detail with the last two type. Over here, we have to integrate x square minus 5 the whole square dx. The actual method would be to solve this identity first. This is in terms of a minus b the whole square, that is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So use this identity and solve. But here instead of a we have x squared and instead of b we have 5. So a squared will become x squared the whole square. Please note, because the a value is itself x squared, we get double square, x squared the whole square. And then all you need to do is minus 2a is x squared, b is 5 plus 5 squared. That's it. Now simplify this. Always remember, when you square the powers, now if it is x power 2, sorry for that. Okay, let me just, okay, if it is x power 2 multiplied by x power 3, what is going to happen? You're going to add the powers. It's going to be 2 plus 3. It's going to be 5 over here. But if it is x squared the whole power 3, then you will have to multiply the powers. It will be x to the power 6. Okay. Here it is 2 power 2. So even if you add and multiply, it's going to be the same answer. But you need to remember this. In case you get 3 over here, then remember, when it is x squared the whole power 3, when you're powering already a power term, it'll be multiplication. In this case, it is addition if you're just multiplying the terms altogether with the squares or powers. Now then, this is the simplified form. 5 times 2 is 10, x squared, and 5 squared is 25. Integrate the above, because now it's also simplified, right? Just integrate it. So x to the power 4 will be 5 by 5 minus 10 squared will be 10 cubed by 3, minus sign remains, and 25 will be just x plus the constant of integration. That is the answer. I have done the shortcut to the integrations, so you can directly do this in the calculator. 16th topic, you will have 4 options, so you can use the calculator method as well. If you do not know the calculator method, please click down below in the description. I will put this as well, the shortcut to calculate, I mean the shortcut method to do integration. Any integral problem, even if there is a variable, you can do it in calculator. So please watch that as well, and then try these by yourselves. So if you're finding this hard, watch the video number 6, watch the video number 7 and this previous one, and also the shortcut method to integration using scientific calculator. You will definitely find the answers. They're very simple, but if you want to solve them each one by one, here is the steps. You can see them. They're very, very simple. The same thing what we had done before. You will have to use U substitution at times. Now these are the methods. You can pause it and go through it, or you can go to the previous videos. So these are the steps over here. So last one, just now we did it. You need to use this. Now over here, expand this x square and then multiply the x. That's it. That's the only difference. And you will get the answers. So in the next video, we will do topic number 17. The 17th topic is again on integration, but this time we are using integration by parts. There are some integral problems which cannot be solved in regular formulas. So there is a formula which we can use. It is not the product of integration, but there are two terms which cannot be solved at all. We'll take them as u and dv, and we part them into separate parts, and then we solve them up. So this is the formula which you must remember, integration by parts. Now this is asked in the part 2, 17th topic. We can use the direct method, the shortcut method of integration as well. That is up to you. But now we will go through integration by parts using the formula. It is integral u into dv equals uv minus integral of v du. See over here, there is no v term. We just take u and dv. We have to integrate this dv to get v. And sorry, there is no v term over here. There is u and dv. There is no du. We need to derive this to get du. We will look into this. It's very simple. Now you have x into sine x. There is no way you can solve this because it's not plus, it's not division, it's not possible. We do not know any formula that can solve this. So we have to use integration by parts. Now, very important is choosing u and v. Look, u needs to be a term that is easy to differentiate, whereas dv is the term easy to integrate. Now look over here. Sin x. It doesn't matter integration or differentiation. It's almost the same to do it. Okay, so leave that. Look at x. Is it easy to differentiate this or integrate it? Or is it like a complicated term after integration or differentiation? Let's look. X, if you differentiate it, it is 1. It's so simple. Whereas you integrate x, it'll be x squared divided by 2. This is going to be much complicated, right? So we choose u, which is easy to differentiate, that is x. Because this is so hard if you differentiate it, right? So take the other term for differentiation. Now remember, not only sine x, you need to also take dx whenever we choose it as dv. Now differentiate du by dx. What is going to happen? Derive the u terms and dv terms. What it means is you need to differentiate du by dx with respect to x. You will get 1. So then what is du value? Take this x to the other side. Du is equal to dx. Now integrate this side over here. What do you get? Integration dv, integration of sine x will be minus cos x. Sin x dx is minus cos x. So v is the left side. Integral of dv would be v. So now you have got du equals dx, v is equal to cos x. And now use the formula of integration. Integral u dv, that is, we have chosen u as x and dv as sine x. We can substitute over here. So in the question, basically, u dv is the question itself, equals u. What is the u value? X. What is the v value? Negative cos x minus integral of v. What is the v value? Minus cos x again. Du is dx. Now it's possible to solve because, here you can simplify. X times minus cos x will be minus x cos x, and integral of minus cos is positive. Integral of cos is sine. This minus will just remain over here. So, and this 2 minus minus becomes plus. And don't forget the constant of integration, that is c. This is how you solve this problem. That's it. That's the answer. Now, since these problems are in the topic 17, you can use the shortcut method for integration. The video is down in the description for the shortcut of integration. Please do check it out because you can solve any problems using your scientific calculator. But if you're so willing to know how to do this in calculator, I'll quickly tell you. So you need your scientific calculator. Since we are dealing with trigonometry, shift the mode to radians. That is by pressing shift, mode and 4. And now you just have to put any random x value for this. Say I'll put 1.5, 0.5, okay, for x. Multiply it with sine 0.5 itself. It should be the same value for x. And what is the answer? Solve it. It is 0.2397, and it goes on. Now we know that derivative of any answer. Now for example, I'll just give an example. It's better to write it and show it. Now you have x. Say you have x to the power 2. Derive this. What is the derivation of this? It'll be 2x. Now if I have 2x, what do I do? Integrate. This is d by dx, derivative. Now integrate. I'm going to get 2x squared divided by 2, which cancels with this, and you're getting x squared. So there is a relationship over here. When I derive x squared, I'm getting 2x, but when I integrate this 2x, I'm going to get the derivation back, isn't it? So now, if I integrate this, I will get this answer. So now if I derive this, I should get this answer. Same one. So that is why what I did over here, basically, this integral is having a constant. The answer will have a constant of integration, but this will become 0 because derivative of this is 0. So that's why we use the x value in this given question. Instead of integrating, use that x value. We solve the answer, right? Now you will have four options because it's MCQs. So select one of the option. Select one of the option and just press shift and dy by dx. Type the one of the answer as it is in terms of x itself. Okay, cos x, close the bracket, plus sine x, and then don't write plus c because any constant, it's the same thing, it'll be 0. The x value should be taken as 0.5 because we had assumed 0.5 and solved this. Now look over here, the answer is exactly the same. Only one option among all the four will give you exactly same answer, and that will be your correct answer. So if you forget this formula, if you got confused or stuck, then do this and check. So among the four options, this would give me the correct same matching answer. Whereas if I had anything else, say over here it was sine, I will not get the same answer. It is only possible for one correct answer. So that's how you can even try it for year. Do it by yourself. You can check the video down in the description later on. Now over here as well, take U and dV. Very important. Now you don't have integration for ln x, that is len or lan or natural logarithm. So you just take it u is equal to natural logarithm x, and what is dv? What is remaining? That is dx term. And now what we will do is we'll integrate this. It becomes 1 by x. Integration of dv and dx will be x over here. V is x. Now just do the substitution in this formula. That is ln x dx equals u is natural logarithm x, v is x, minus integral v is again x, du is 1 by x dx. Now simplify this, you will get the answer. Over here, integral of 1, that is x, plus c. That's it. If you're getting confused, do the formula, do the shortcut method and check your answers. Please do try this. All the answers are mentioned over here in the, all have been worked out. You can check all the answers, and you can even try the shortcut method over here and you will get the same answer. So you can check the answers in detail. Let me just show it. Okay, you can just pause it. Also, you can find this presentation if you click on the description. There is a link where you can download the presentation. Now these are direct integrals. Definite integrals are very simple. All you need to do is put this as it is in calculator and you will get the answer. But the only difference is, let me do this. Sorry, let me do this problem. Now here in this case, if you just type this, it's gonna be all right. That is 2x cos x, and you need to press 0 and pi. You will get the answer -4. But what about this side? Let's do the same problem over here. It was sine 2x. So I will have to just remove that. Cos to sine. And then there was no 2 over here. Let me just change that to 1. And now the answer is 0.435. Why? Because always you will get the simplified answer in decimal symbol, okay, like this. So what you need to do is all the four options need to be solved. So you need to solve all the four options. Only one will be the correct answer. That is half cos 2 plus 1/4 sine 2, bracket sine, close the bracket, and this will be the correct answer. Why? Because when you simplify this, you're getting the same answer what we got in the calculator. Only one will be the correct answer that will match, so that's how we can easily solve it. Please do try these problems by yourselves and then check the answers. You can pause the video to check the answers if you want. So this is the 20-second, or directly try the calculator methods. It's very straightforward as well. All these are the answers. All have been worked out. And that's the end of this topic. So this was the integration by parts using the formula, or you can do it by calculator, or if it's definite integral, it's very straightforward. The next, so please stay tuned for the next video. We will deal with the topic number 18. The next topic is the topic number 18, and here again we are dealing with integration, but this time regarding the trigonometric functions. Now, again, I will recall you trigonometric or any integration for that matter. If you have the MCQs, if you have options, can be solved in the calculator. So it is highly recommended to use that method over here, because if you're getting too much confused or if you have too many formulas to remember, then you can just use that for now. Part A and part B, you can use the calculator method. If you want to know about the calculator method again, you can watch the previous videos, or you can watch the shortcut method to integration down in the description. Please click on that and watch it. Now we will see this as well. These are the Pythagorean identities, trigonometric identities. You must remember all these. There are plenty of these formulas in the previous videos. In the video number 8, I believe, or somewhere over there. In the part 1, this was already explained. So this is kind of, refreshing it again. These are the double angle identities. Pythagoras identity are very crucial if you're solving it directly. Then here, these are the integrals for Pythagoras for trigonometries. So you must remember these. Now over here, again, I'll just quickly recall whenever you have cosine, cotangent, or cosecant as the answer, it'll be minus. See, even over here. Now these are the two extra formulas. Now otherwise, if there is no cosine or there is no c, then it becomes it's just positive. So that is the thing. Now then, we will quickly dive into this problem. Over here we have got evaluate cos to the power 4x sine cube x dx. There is no direct substitution. There is no formula you need to do use substitution. You need to choose the appropriate value for you. Now you can see there are two functions. Now sine is less and this is more, so it's better to take not as a even number. It's over here we would take cos 4 because it's higher power, and then we can easily dissolve this other term. So it depends, it's not just even, or it's not really higher power. It depends on different situations. Sometimes you don't take sine at all or cos at all, you take other things. So this u value would vary depending on the question and the situation. So as you practice more problem, you will get a hang of it. Now over here, u is taken as cos. You don't take the power, you just take this. And then what happens? Du by dx is minus sine. What you do is you derive this. Remember, derivation of any c values like cosine, cotangent, everything is negative. You have to add this negative sign over here. So this is it. Now what do? We need to get dx, right? So swap this with dx. So it'll go to the other side, it'll become minus du by sine x equals dx. Now then, we will just rearrange and write these terms. Instead of cos 4x, cos to the power 4x, you write u to the power 4, and then sine cube. Okay, now one more thing. Before we do the substitution, right, we have to rearrange these terms. Why? Because now this was odd, right? Sine was odd. So one of the sine will go. But what about this power 2? This, if we have sine squared, we can use Pythagorean identity and get everything in terms of cos. That's what we do now. See over here, cos to the power 4. Sine squared is 1 minus cos squared x. Because we know from Pythagorean identity, cos squared x plus sine squared x equals 1. So if this is the case, just take cos to the other side, it becomes sine squared x equals 1 minus, or subtract both the sides by cos, it'll be minus cos squared x. So that is what happened over here with the sine squared x. And now this sine squared x, leave it as it is. Now substitute the u values, apply the u's. So we, instead of cos to the power 4x, it'll be u to the power 4, 1 minus u squared, because cos squared x is u squared. Sin x, leave it, dx will be minus du by sin x. Now these both cancels, negative sign remains, u to the power 4, 1 minus u squared du. Multiply this inside. What is going to happen? U to the power 4 into 1 is u to the power 4. U to the power 4 into u to the power 2. And remember, when you multiply terms, like terms with different powers, you add the powers. You just add the powers. Okay? Only when it is squared, imagine you're squaring this, then you multiply the powers. It'll be u power 8. But now you're multiplying, so it is powers are added. It'll be u power 6 du. And now you can easily integrate, isn't it? U to the power 5 divided by 5 minus u to the power 7 divided by 7 plus c. And here, this is the, now multiply the minus sign inside, and here you get it. So now it's not over. You need to substitute the whatever you had considered back into the question, and here you go. That is your final answer. So this is constant of integration. Now, I will quickly do the shortcut method as well, because that is very handy in such cases, because sometimes you might get stuck anywhere. So, oh, you got the correct answer, well and good, but double check your answer by the calculator method. Now, in this case, all you need to do is first shift mode and radians, and then you need to type it. Cos, take any x value. For trigonometry, I generally take 0.5. I don't take huge values. Don't take 0 or 1. They are tricky values because sometimes it will be 0, right? So it's a problem. Now, what do you do? Cos x. This 4, if it is for cos power 4, it must be the whole 4, like this. After this x value, you can put the power. Always remember, if it is cos to the power 4x, that is equivalent to cos x the whole power 4. You can put brackets as well. It's the same thing. Only when it is cos x power 2, this is only for this. So it will be, I should have squared inside. It will be 0.5 squared. But now it is since cos, it will be entire squared. I'll just put the brackets anyways. Even if you don't put the brackets, you will get the correct answer. But if you should power it accordingly, correctly, multiplied with sine x is 0.5, close the bracket and make it cube. And now I didn't close the bracket. Now it's proper. That's it. Press equal to, your answer is 0.06536. Okay, the x value was 0.5. Now all you need to do is put this term in derivative, definite derivative, dy by dx. So minus cos over here will be cos x is 0, sorry, don't put 0.5 over here. You need to put, instead of x equals that blank, you should put 0.5 over here. You need to have it as x itself. Please remember that. To the power 5 divided by 5. I'm not putting the brackets because it'll be very clumsy over here. That's the reason. Or you can put the brackets. It's the same thing. Cos x, that is alpha and x, close the bracket, to the power 7 divided by 7, and plus c. C is any constant. You can write anything or you can leave it blank. It's the same thing. I'm just writing to show you that it does not make a difference. 0.5. The answer is the same thing, whatever we got. Now I'll just remove this 4, 2, 3. I will get the same answer. Why? Because whenever you whenever you do dy by dx of any constant, it becomes 0. It can be any constant, positive or negative, it becomes 0. So that's why I'll get the same answer. That is why we would not do this. See, we don't put x value over here and then definite integral. No, we don't use definite integral. Why? Because of this constant problem. That's why if you're following this shortcut method, which I'm telling over here, please make sure you use the x value in the given question and do definite integral to the answer, so you will get the exact value. Now this is the correct answer. You can try this over with any of the problems. See, wherever there's definite integral, it's directly in the calculator. Or if there is problems like this, you can follow whatever I just now told you, or you can directly use the calculator. If you want cot, cosecant, I've already done videos on those. Please watch the previous videos. Please watch the shortcut videos. Now, if you're thinking, how do we do this? Very simple. Instead of cot, you have to put 1 by tan x the whole squared. That's the only thing. Just remember, use sine. Now, see, cosecant. Cosecant is not there in your calculator, but we have sine. It's equal to 1 by sine. So just remember to put this in the calculator and solve. So these are the methods. If you want the actual methods how to solve, it's over here, detailed explanation. Please do solve them by yourself and then check for the answers. I will now go through all these answers. You can pause the video and watch it. I'll go slowly through these. So these are the steps. So over here it's done. Definite integrals are very simple in calculator, so you can use that, or you can use the formula. It's the same thing. Now these are all the answers. Now remember, for secant you need to use 1 by cos if you're using the calculator method. Over here you can see these answers. You can pause the video over here if you want to know these, or you can find the presentation from the link as well. So these are all the answers. I hope it is clear, and if you have any doubts, please do put them in the comments section, and I will be back for the next video. Now we move to the 19th topic. It is again on integration and trigonometry. It is considered to be one of the most trickiest topic because it's not that easy. You need to assume and all that. Now, for example, over here this is related to sine inverse. The formula, you have to assume sine thetas and then rearrange this and then solve it. You might have come across this in the regular classes. This is the all long method, but the best part is you can do the shortcut method over here, and it is in the question number 19. You will have the 4 options, but now the problem is you might be confused on how to do the shortcut. Now over here in such problems, when it's definite integral, it's very easy. But look over here, they're asking which form. The form, you must remember the forms in the formula, and based on that you need to simplify these. Now I won't go in detail of that. I'll directly tell you the shortcut method over here. Since secant and tan comes, it might be tricky. See, cosecant comes. How will you exactly solve it directly? Let me take one of the most difficult one, like the last one, because there is a lot of inverse and everything in this. Sorry, let me take this and show you how to solve it directly. You will have 4 options, and I've already checked this. I've checked a couple of problems randomly, and they will definitely work in your calculator. I mean the physical calculator, not just the one I have in my computer. Even the physical calculator, it will definitely work, but make sure you use the brackets properly. If you do even a simple error, you will get a wrong answer. Now you can see secant inverse. Before I start the calculator method, there are a few things you must remember. You know secant equals 1 by cos. But do you know what is secant inverse of, say, x equal to? Now this is not 1 by cos inverse x. It doesn't make sense because the domain is defeated. I mean, it will be error because when you take 1 by cos inverse, all the domain doesn't match. So what happens is you should just remember secant inverse will be directly cos inverse, but whatever is there inside this, what is there? That will be, that's x, right? That will be 1 by x. So now, for example, over here we have secant inverse x by 2. Take a minute and solve what's it going to be. It is going to be cos inverse. It'll be 1 by x, so it'll be 1 divided by x by 2. It'll be 1 divided by x divided by 2. So this is the method. Now then, what we will do is we will see the calculator method. The first step is to take a x value. Now look over here, there is a square root function. Remember, you can't take anything less than uh, 2. Yeah, 2. You can't make it a negative value, right? You can't take 2. So take a bigger value which makes the above positive. So let me just take 4. No, let me take 4.5 simply. You can't take 0 or 1. You can't take 0 0.5. It'll give you an error over here. So let me take x of 4.5. X is equal to 4.5. I can take 2.5 as well. It's up to you guys. You can just take a random value, but make sure you will get an answer. Now square root, let me just do the fraction. Square root of 4.5 square minus 4 divided by 4.5 square. What is the answer? It's 2 root. Let's write the decimal form. So the answer is 0.19906. Okay, this is enough. Now you need to definite derivative of the answers. So press shift and dy by dx. Type the answers as it is. It's not a big thing to type. See, natural logarithm. Okay, open the bracket. This is the already open. Now open one more bracket and write alpha x by 2. So it's 2. Make sure you're typing. Once you open, close it. Okay, that is done. Only now natural logarithm bracket is remaining. Now plus tan. All very straightforward. It already opened the bracket, it's fine. But now remember, you're dealing with secant inverse, not 1 by, it is cos inverse. Now use 1 divided by whatever is there. It is alpha x again divided by 2. Now close the bracket properly, and that's for this degree. Now even close the tan bracket, and then also close the natural logarithm bracket. I'll just show you what happened. I open one bracket for natural logarithm, so this is closed. Tan was opened, and again degree was open, so there were 3 open brackets, so there are 3 closed brackets. The last one is for the definite integral, so leave it. Minus sign, minus sign. Why I'm concerned about the bracket is if you don't close the bracket or open the bracket properly, you won't get the answer. So that's why right now be vigilant on the brackets. Now sine, it'll all automatically open the bracket. Again, secant inverse is cos inverse. And then what do we have? 1 divided by alpha x divided by 2. Now, if you just press once like this and close, it's going to be wrong. You need to press come over here and then close the bracket. And then close the sine bracket again. Now that's it. Don't write the c because it doesn't make a difference. What is the x value? It is 4.5. Let me press equal to. The answer is this. Now obviously when you do it in your calculators, which I did that time, it took a long time, not long time. It took me about 20 seconds, I guess, or 15 seconds. I started counting till 5, but then I just dozed off and then I got the answer. 10 to 15 seconds. So wait, don't press anything, don't press on or anything. Just give it time, it will definitely come. This will be very easy, very quick. You will directly get the answer. But when you're solving the definite integral, it will take time, but you will definitely get the answer. So this matches. Now you need to be not very quick. If you're going to solve this, it's going to take much more time. So if you do the direct method and find the answer, it's going to be much quicker. So that's fine. So just make sure you check the answers, and it's just try to put these values, especially the secant inverse, tan, accurately. Now what if it was cosecant inverse? Just use sine inverse bracket 1 by x. Just remember about that. So that is it. That is how you can easily solve the answers for this, and you can check the answers. I will show all the other answers as well. So take your time, you can go through this. You can even try solving these by yourself whenever there is. Oh, see, now for example, this is very easy because there is no problem at all. This is just to type it as it is. Whereas when it is secant inverse or cosecant inverse, then there'll be a difficulty. And over here, make sure when you're solving this, make sure the x value is positive. If you take a x value whenever square root is there positive, then this will be positive, not to worry. Okay, whenever this is positive, even this, you do not need to use modulus. Just use the normal brackets. So this is all the answers. You can pause it and go through it if you want. And now I'm going from backwards because I did the 30-second problem and then we are going backwards. If it's definite integral, very easy. Just type it in the calculator. You will get the answers. So 21 from here. I hope this is clear. So those were all the answers for the 19th topic. And yes, all these are there. Only to be careful when you get secant inverse or cosecant inverse. That's it. If you have any doubts in the calculator method or anything, please watch the video which is there in the description. And if you have further doubts, please do ask them in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as possible. The 20th topic is the last topic in part 2, and it is similar to the previous topic which we had seen in part 1 on separable differential equations. It's just that here you have an extra step of integrating it. So if you have not watched the first video, please go back and be thorough with the separable differential equations. This is topic number 10, I believe. So be thorough with it, and then this will be very, very easy. Here you have a function y dash equals 2 by xy plus y. Now this needs to be separated, y at one side, x at one side. How do you do it? You need to just separate it, very basic. Remove the y common out. So y is out, x plus 1 remains. Take the y to the other side, you will get y dash equals 2 by x plus 1. Next, you need to, now look over here, y dash is dy by dx. So substitute that value. Dy by dx, in this dx term, take it to the other side, and this is the separated differential equation. Now over here you get y dy 2 by x plus 1 dx. Now it's not over. Over here you need to find the solution by integrating on both the sides. Because there is dy and dx, you can integrate both the sides. The left side with respect to y because of dy, and right side with respect to x because of dx. All you do is integrate it, not differentiate, integration over here. You get y squared by 2 equals 2. Now whatever is in the denominator comes up, natural logarithm of x plus 1, and this is the first constant. This is a constant of integration. Now look carefully over here. What you're doing is you're removing this. Always we write equations in terms of y, isn't it? So remove this 2 to the other side, multiply 2 throughout. It's gonna be 2 2 times 2, that's 4 natural logarithm of x plus 1 plus 2 times c1. Now this constant of integration is basically multiplied by 2. Does that make a difference? No, because it's a constant. It doesn't matter what constant it is. It can be 10 times 220. Still, it's a constant. So it doesn't matter. So now 2c1 is just a constant. So write it as c. That would be your answer. Oh, sorry. It's not over. There is y squared. You need to have in terms of y. So take square root on both the sides. Here you get plus or minus square root of this particular term. That is the answer. Now let's look into some other problems. Now here, same like what we have done just now. Separate these equations. Over here, what you need to do is take the y. See, this entire term goes to the other side. This is y. And over here, x is there. Now, remember, y dash is dy by dx. So it will be dy divided by dx. Dx goes to the other side. This is separated. Now, integrate on both the sides. When you look at this, you can remember it is sine inverse. Now, over here, okay, first of all, the left side, one second. The left side is very simple. It is sine inverse. It's okay till over here. But anyways, the right side, you can't directly solve it. Now, the thing is, you need to do u substitution. Now, it is done in detail over here. What happens is, you take u as natural logarithm of x, and then when you solve, when you derive u, this cancels, that x cancels, the x cancels. Why? Because you will get du by dx is 1 by x. Take x to the other side and get everything in terms of dx. Now over here, what happens? Dx is x du. Look, you substitute dx value as x du, and here in the denominator, X remains, but what is natural logarithm x? That is u. So you just cancel this x and x. Now you can easily integrate it, isn't it? It will be natural logarithmic u. So that's the thing. And over your left side, it's sine inverse u because it's 1 divided by root of 1 minus y squared. That is sine inverse. If it was x, it would be sine inverse x. Now it's sorry, it's y, not u, it's y. So sine inverse y. Now plus c is the constant of integration. It is not over. You need to take sine on both the sides to remove this. Now, okay, that's not yet over because u is not substituted back. Now it is natural logarithm of natural logarithm x plus c. Now take the sine to the other side. You will get the answer. Why? Because it's sine inverse. Take sine on both the sides. Sine and sine inverse cancels and you are remaining with sine. This is the final answer. So over here, sorry, that has been repeated by mistakenly. So that's the answer. It's the same thing. So similarly, you can solve the other problems. Uh, okay, is there any problem? Yeah, that's it. This is the correct answer. So make sure you differentiate it and then you integrate it. That's how you solve it. Please do these by yourselves because we have done this already. We have done the separation and then only extra part is the integration in the 20th problem. In the part 1, we have already done the separation of x and y. So here are the answers. You can look through it. They're very straightforward. Only thing is you need to be thorough with differentiation and integration. See, there are places over here you can rearrange and write. It's simple. Just go through it and you will understand it. Just be thorough with integration properties and also only the basic integration properties. And also if it's like this, you need to understand, okay, this is sine inverse. Or if it is now here, it'll be tan inverse or not tan, sorry, it's natural logarithm. You should know them. So remember, learn all these properties, basic properties, and then you can easily solve it. But first step is always separate them and then integrate on both the sides. So these are the answers. That's it. So that is the end of the part 2. I hope it is helpful and you're going through them. If you have any doubts, put them in the comments. I will try to get back as soon as possible. Now, in the next part, we will deal with the part 3, which is the writing part. Stay tuned. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to it and do like my videos and share it with your friends. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to the part 3. So we are finally in the part 3, that is the writing part. I want to stress the importance of this part. This part has 3 questions and they sum up to be 20 marks. So 3 questions, 20 marks. It's a high weightage marks. And there is 10 marks of bonus 2 questions. And those are also in writing. So please make sure that you practice by writing. This is very, very important and practice these problems thoroughly as well. Now we will begin this part 3. Before that, this is my channel Best Math, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to it and do like my videos if you have found it helpful. If you have found anything useful, please do like them and share it among your friends. And I also want to thank all those who are already subscribed and all the likes for my videos. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much, guys. Now we will start with the 21st topic, the method of washes. In the beginning topics, the topic 1, 2, and even in the 10th, 11th, I believe, we had done area between curves. Now we are doing method of washes. What exactly is this? Now let's look over here. If I have a curve like this, and this is rotated along the x-axis, what's going to happen? Only this, sorry, this is the curve, okay? This is the portion which I'm going to rotate. It's going to be something like this, isn't it? So now there will be some hollow part. This part is hollow, which I've shaded. Now I do not want that. I just want the part which is formed by this particular, wait, I'll just draw it in blue. See the straight lines which I'm drawing. I just need that area, that region area. I don't want the hollow part region. That can be solved by method of washes. Why? Because now if you take any cross section, see this is a cross section, what is going to happen? It's like a washer. Washer is something that is like a disc with a circle in between, a hole in between, isn't it? So now this is what happens. See, it's this hollow space is the between cavity, and the outer space, can you see this outer one? This is the region which we require. That can be easily solved, by the outer radius and the inner radius. Let's see how we'll do it. Rotation about the x-axis is very simple. You need to remember this formula. Volume will be pi r of x square minus small letter r x square dx. You have to take the integral from a to b, the limits, and then very important is outer radius minus the inner radius. Now over here, if you're considering this, then this would be the outer radius and this will be the inner radius. That's it. Same way if you're doing along y-axis, we have done this similar thing before. What you do is take the limit r of y with respect to y, say volume, r of y, because it'll be along the y-axis. Basically now you're dealing with this axis. So remember, in terms of y, so your equations must be x is equal to y square minus 2y or something like this. Okay, for rotation about y-axis. And then minus ry square dy. We will see a problem, you'll understand how easy it is, where capital R is the outer radius, inner radius is given by small letter r. If you understand this formulas, then it's very simple. But now this one is not the washer problem, but just for your understanding, we have done this before. But anyways, see, let R be the region bounded by the graphs 1/4 x square, x equals 0, y equals 1. Compute the volume of the solid form by revolving R about the y-axis. So first let's draw this. Let's sketch the graph, basic graph. It's given as quarter x squared. It will be a parabola. Okay, x equals 0 and y is equal to 1. Okay, fine. Now this is the graph. They're revolving around y-axis. What happens if you revolve around y-axis? It just becomes like this. Do we need the washers now? No. See, it's just like this, isn't it? Sorry. Now over here you can see this part, when you rotate it, will be like this, and the cross section is a hole like a disc. Now all you need to know is the formula. Now we do not use the method of washers. The reason for doing this is the next problem we'll use method of washers for the same equation, and you can see the difference. Now write the given equations. Y equals half x half one sorry quarter x squared, but you can't use this. They have told around which axis? About y-axis. So get it in terms of x. So take this 4 to the other side and root both the sides. You'll get x equals the root of 4y. Now the limits. Where are the limits for y? They have told up till 1, right? From 0 to 1. Now we need to use the formula which we have already solved this problem before. Substituting the formula and solve. This is the formula. Volume is c to d pi r square radius square, or over here g of y, because we are dealing with in terms of y. See, this is the thing. So just put this over here. Use the calculator. Let's see. It is integral pi shift pi 4 alpha. Okay, I have not the brackets. Let me write it. 4 alpha x the whole square dy 0 to 1. Now you're getting this answer. Okay, what did I do wrong over here? Okay, I forgot to write the square root. That's so silly of me. So basically when you write the square root and square, it just cancels off. So I'll just write power 1, or I can just remove that altogether. The answer is 2 pi 6.28. That's it. Now this is what we have already done before, but now look at the same problem, only let's revolve it around x-axis. The main intention of mine to teach you to recall a previous problem was to understand the difference. Now let's draw this one. With the basic knowledge, let's draw the graph. And now we are revolving around x-axis. Now what is going to happen? This is going to happen. Can you see? When you revolve this, this is going to happen. And this hollow space is not required. And now we can get two radiuses, that is the outer radius and inner radius. Okay, now let's just substitute. Let's understand what is the outer radius. They have given the limit y equals 1, right? So what is this from year to year radius? Because both the sides will revolve. Now that is 1. So r is 1. What is the inner radius? That is given by this equation. X is variable, yes, but we have to put the limit for that x. Doesn't matter, it varies. This is standard. See why it is standard. Does it change? It's just one constant. But look at this line. It's variable. That's why it's in terms of x. Now just substitute, write that. And it's very important to know the limits. So what we do is to find the limit if you do not know to graph it properly. Because if you just do a basic graph from your basic knowledge, it won't be accurate. See, if I'm going to draw this graph, I'll just draw it like this. Okay. I know this is 0, okay, x is 0, y is 1, okay, till 1 it is there. But I don't know this point. No, I have no clue. How do you find that is, you equate this point 1 and this line 1/4 x squared. Just equate them both. So y is equal to 1 and that must be equal to quarter x squared. Why? Because at that point we will get this touching point. So take 4 to the other side and take the square root. It will be plus or minus 2. But are we dealing with negative? No. See this graph. It's the positive from 0 onwards, right? So it is positive. So then what do you do? All you need to, along this x-axis, sorry, all you need to do is find the limits along the x-axis. Yes, from 0 to 2. Sorry, over here. Okay, it's from 0 to 2. Now it's not over. You need to write the formula and substitute, right? Now let's write the formula. That is from the limits a to b, in this case 0 to 2, capital R is the outer radius 1 minus 1/4 x squared. So all you're doing is substitute this 1 square and minus the inner radius 1/4 x squared, the whole square. Remember the formula also has a square, so it'll become square square. Now just put this in calculator, you'll get the answer directly. So very important thing, that is, wait, let me just do this, shift and pi into 1 square minus, okay, it's 1/4, only one variable, that is alpha x the whole square. Sorry, I've missed the x over here. X square is it, it's over here. And now the limit is 0 to 2. Okay, I have done something wrong. Okay, what is that? Let me just take this out from here. Oh, sorry. This is a constant. It should be over here. No. What's there? It's from 0 to 1. Okay, I have not closed the brackets. That's the main thing. Now, over here, be careful. I have not closed the brackets. Okay, it's not about the pi. So I will just... anyways, let's try this. Okay, I'll just write pi over here. Because pi can be anywhere, it's a constant, so it doesn't matter if it's inside or outside. So this should work. Yes, it works. Okay. um yeah, so pi, that's what I was thinking. Anyways, pi doesn't matter. I didn't close the bracket. So very important thing, very good mistake that I made. Because you don't do the mistake over there, the same thing. Don't think, okay, it's syntax error. No, I did not put something correctly. So just make sure, if you get this equation correct, then you must get the answer. Doesn't matter what. Okay. So the most important thing in this is understanding the graph. Okay. So this is the most important thing. So make sure, because it's a writing exam, make sure you draw this. Because if you draw this, then it makes, it just means that you know everything, right? So this is the most crucial part. Draw this and understand how it is. Not the exact values, just the basic values. I mean, basic graphing. Okay. And then what you need to do is equate this and you will get the x value and then just substitute over here in the formula. If you want to solve this as well using the formula, it's not a big deal. Over here, just solve it. It's 1 itself over here. It'll be, you need to put in the formula over here. It's constant. It'll be 16 x to the power 4. Now what can you do? Integrate this, integrate it. What happens? x over here, x to the power 5 divided by 5, resolve it, put the limits, and you can solve it. We have done maybe in the first video using the formula. So it's the same thing. It's very straightforward. Or you can use the calculator, or you can do one step and then use the calculator directly. But the most important, it's not about this, this is the final part. Getting this is very important because, in the writing, if you write this all, that makes sense because that means, okay, you understood it. You know how to do this. That's the main concept. It's not by fluke. So that's it. And then the formula is very important. Write the formula, substitute, and then you can do the answers. Now, same way over here, we are doing the same problem, but look at what's the difference. Over here, they have given the same equation again. Look at the difference. They have just told rotation at y equals 2. That means you need to draw a line at y equals 2, and from there you need to rotate it. What is going to happen? At this line, can you see over here this line y equals 2? If you're rotating, it's going to look something like this. Why? This part is being rotated and there's a hollow space over here, right? This is the hollow space and the same hollow space is continued up. So you're going to rotate it like this. It'll come something like this, and over here there'll be a hollow space generated. And this again is a washer problem. Why? Because there's a hollow space created. Now, over here, you can see this is very important. What is the outer radius? Since you're revolving around this point, your outer radius is from here, and that is 3. But we need to know, we need to look at the given. So this is given as y equals 2, x is 0, y is equal to 1. That is the ending line over here. Now, how do you write the outer radius? See, the inner radius is very simple. Inner radius is a straight one, whichever is close to the axis of rotation. Last problem, the axis of rotation was x. So this was the outer radius. From x, look, this is outside, whereas this is inner radius. But now it is changed. So what you need to do is, you need to look at this figure properly, the given, and then you need to try to figure out from here, from this axis. Let us look at it one by one. First, the inner radius. As you can see, this is the axis of rotation. This is where it's revolving, right? So this is our main attention. This is our main reference. From here to here, what is the distance? If you consider this to be 0, then it's 0 to 1. Now it's 2 minus 1 will be 1. Basically, it's very simple. From here to here, it's 1 distance. Okay, that's fine. Whatever is the unit. But what about the outer radius? From here to here, it is 2 distances, isn't it? But look at this line. This equation varies, isn't it? So you need to do 2 minus whatever the variation of this equation. 2 minus y. What is that equation? 2 minus y equals to? That is quarter x squared. 2 minus 1/4 x squared. This is the outer radius. From here, that is outside, outermost, whereas the inner one is nearby. So you can see over here, outer radius is given by 2 minus 1/4 x squared, whereas the inner radius is 1. That's it. And then the limits, we have already done this in the previous section just a while ago. How to do it? It's very simple. You need to equate the y's. 1, y is equal to 1 equals 1/4 x squared. Take the 4 to the other side, becomes x squared, square root on both the sides, plus or minus 2. And we are just considering the positive sign because we are dealing with the positive from 0. So that's it. Now then, use the formula. The outer radius square minus the inner radius square into dx. Write the formula appropriately. Then write the limits 0 to 2. And now just put in the calculator. You will get the answer. That is over here. Open the bracket. See, make sure you close the bracket and open the bracket properly because we had a mistake just a while ago. And over here alpha x squared, close the bracket and square it, minus 1 squared. That's it. Here it's 0 to 2, and I forgot to write the pi. It's pi. that is equal to 56 by 15, and that's the answer. So that is 11.73. So this is how you solve the washer problem. So make sure you understand where the equation is given, and then understand which line of axis is used to revolve. Then it's pretty easy. You can just do the revolution. You can even think in the mind and do it. Just draw a basic graph, whatever equation you're given. Okay? Please do solve these by yourself. Don't directly write. Solve it by yourself and then check the answers. So over here, it's similar to what we have done. Now we here some are linear. Linear is very easy as well. So please do try by yourself and then check for the answers. Answers are written directly over here. Outer radius minus the inner radius. You need to rearrange and solve. And same thing over here. A is about the x-axis, whereas B is along the y-axis. Sorry, along the given point. So y equals 3. It'll be x-axis and y equals 3 would be somewhere over here. So it's the same thing. A wash is only formed, just that the equations vary. So you can pause and check it out over here. Please make sure you go through all this. And then over here, this is the equation. And lastly, we have this over here. So please do solve them by yourself and then check for the answers. In the next video, we will go to the topic number 22. Please stay tuned. We will move on to the 22nd topic. This is similar to the previous part 1, ninth topic, I believe. We have done the similar one. It is integrating rational functions by the method of partial fractions. Now, let me just go down and show you a little bit. You can see something's going to happen, A, B, all this. What we are doing is, look at the problem for now. You're dividing x minus 5 divided by x squared minus 1. So this is a complicated problem, and we do not have a direct integration for this. But we know the derivation of, say, a number divided by any term, say a number divided by x plus 2 or something like this. It will be natural logarithm. So that is what we are trying to do over here. So if you look carefully, let me just get back over here. We are trying to get, I'm just showing the answers so you understand what we are doing. We're trying to get the same equation splitting out into a number divided by the factor. And then we can use natural logarithmic formulas. So this is our main goal. We want to get in terms of two terms, like two fractions, but the numerator will be numbers. So then we can easily use the formula over here. But how can we get into two random numbers? What is the possibility? Like, how do we get this A plus B? What is that? It's very simple. Let me tell you. Take any two numbers, for example, two fraction numbers. I will take 3 divided by 10 plus 2 divided by 5. Okay? Now, if I add them up, okay, I'll just use the calculator now. Wait, let's do this without the calculator. What's going to happen? You need to take the common denominator, or else I'll just take the easy method. 50, this 5s are 15, plus this 10 times is 20. So 20 divided by, this is the answer. Wait, let me simplify this. It'll be 35 divided by 50. So now you can see over here that this term can be written as sum of these two terms. But it's very hard to split this directly, isn't it? But now I know 35. Wait, I can reduce this further. Let me write it as 7 goes in this. 7 5s are, no, 5 sevens, yeah, 10. Okay. So now over here, what I did is divide both the sides by 7, sorry, 5. 35, 7 times 5, and then 10 times. So that's the thing. Now this term I can split into two terms like this. Do you agree? 7 by 10 is equal to 3 by 10 plus 2 by 5. To split this like this directly, it's hard. But you can do it because these both are equal. The same way, we are telling this term, okay, now expand this as much as possible. It is a squared minus b squared, or you can use the calculator. We have done this before using calculator, but now I'll tell you this formula. It's a plus b, a minus b. You can just use calculator mode 5 and 3 and get the same thing. You can refer to the video number 9. We have done this already over there. So what we are doing is we're expanding it and getting this term. So this is just the question. But we are telling this question will be equal to a divided by one of this factor. Why? Because when I wrote it over there, 10 multiplied by 50, 10 multiplied by 5 was 50. 50 was the denominator before I simplified it. So I can write like that. Now, this is one factor. It had some term. Okay, let me just write that back because that was important. 50 equals 3 by 10 plus, it was 5 over here, and mm, I just forgot the number over here. Anyways, it was some number, okay? Just a while ago I'd written it. Okay, my memory is so small. Now you can see with 35 by 50 equals these two numbers, right? These two are the factors, and these two numbers are very hard to guess. So we write A and B. I hope this is clear. These two numbers are not just random numbers. We can figure it out. We will figure it out now. But for now, time being, we will write it A and B. And then one of these factors. So this one is going to change. How do we do that? It's very simple. There is a method. You need to follow this method. First thing is, whatever is the denominator over here, what's this denominator? It's x minus 1, right? Multiply the conjugate. Conjugate means if you have x minus 1, the conjugate would mean x plus 1. Multiply and divide by this, x plus 1 for this term. Same thing you do over here, it's plus, so you have to multiply and divide by x minus 1. This is it. I hope this much is clear. Now, if you simplify, you're gonna get the same denominator. Like, I mean, not simplify exactly, write this as a common denominator. What's gonna happen? X minus 1 divided by x plus 5. Over here also, the denominator is same. Why we did is to match this denominator. We know this can be simplified like this. Now, the denominators all do match. This over here, if you're thinking, why did we add and subtract? It's nothing wrong. See now, 7 divided by 7, if I multiply to 3, the answer will still remain 3 because this is the same thing, it cancels. So I'm just manipulating it. The main reason for that is the denominator must be equivalent over here. Now, yes, it is done. So this is all equal, so I can equate the numerators. All the numerators are equated, and then what? Look over here. X minus 5 equals ax plus 1 plus b of x minus 1 divided by x minus 1, x plus 1. Now, equate only the numerators. Okay, this was just simplification. Why? Because it's the common denominator. Now, only the numerators are written together. Can you see this? Now, we will simplify. We will try to simplify these two. Okay, find the values of a and b. So how do we do this is, always you need to take you can see over here the numerator is x minus 1, x plus 1. So take the value plus 1 and minus 1. Okay, now if it was minus 2, what's going to happen? It'll be x equals 2, x equals minus 1. I hope this is clear. The roots of this, you should take this negative outside, then it'll be x is equal to 2. But here plus and minus 1 are there, so it is 1 and minus 1. Now all you need to do is substitute in this value. What's going to happen? One of the terms just cancels off, that is b is gone. 1 minus 1 is 0. Solve the remaining term. You can use the calculator directly also. You will get a as negative 2 and continue it. For what? X equals negative 1 now. Same thing, substitute, the other term will be cancelled off, and b value is 3. So you got a and b value. Now you can write over here, see in this step, instead of a and b, you can write minus 2 and 3. See, the question can be expanded like this, and all this method was to find the a and b value, and now you have solved it up. So this is it. Now you can easily integrate it, right? Integrate this. It is natural logarithm. Minus 2 is a constant. Remove it out. 1 by x minus 1. Natural logarithm x minus 1 magnitude must be written. Same thing. 3 natural logarithm x plus 1. and the constant of integration. This is how we solve this problem. Now, what if it's a more complicated problem? There are two types of problem. Now, here in the first problem, the numerator was smaller than the denominator in terms of degree, x power 1, x power 2. But what if it is equal or greater than? Now we will solve one for greater than and one for equal. Look, x to the power 3 is greater than x to the power 2 degree. Here you need to do, since the degree of numerator is greater than the denominator, you need to do long division method. This is the extra step. How do you do long division? Write this whatever you're dividing over here. You can see there is no x squared term because it is 0 x squared. That term is 0. So that's why it's not there. And then over here, this terms as it is. Now what you need to do, see what you must multiply to x squared to get x cubed. This x. So x squared times x is equal to x cubed. And then once you start it over here, you need to keep on continuing. That is with the other terms. That is 2x times x is 2x squared minus 8 times x is minus 8x. And then change the sign over here and subtract, solve this. This cancels off. You have 0, so it will just be minus 2x squared. Remember, the sign changes for entire terms over here, all the terms. Over here it becomes plus. So plus 8 plus 1 is 9x, and lastly bring this down. And now what do you have to multiply to x squared to match this term? What is missing? Minus 2. That's it. So multiply minus 2, the entire terms, it will be minus 2x squared. This will become minus 4x. And lastly, we have 16. Now solve it up. What's the answer? You're remaining with, this becomes, changes sign over here. This becomes plus, this becomes minus. So you will have 13x minus 14. Okay. Can you go further? No, this degree is more over here. Divisor degree is more. You need to stop over here because this is the remainder. Now, how do you write the long division answer? Whatever is over here, you write it as it is. And then the remainder must be divided by the divisor. Always. That's how we write it. Whatever is the remainder, sorry, it was cut. Whatever is the remainder is written divided by the divisor. Okay, all this remainder divisor. But if you know the method, it's more than enough. Now what you do is, this is fine to integrate. This is very simple. What's the integration of x? It'll be x squared by 2 minus 2x. This part is fine, but this cannot be solved. Just now, a while ago, if we go back, see over here, what did we do? We solved similar problem. So now we do that for the remainder part. Only this part, look, only this part will be simplified. How do you get this? Use the calculator mode 5 and 3 and find the answers. You will get the calculator answers as x equals 4, x equals, sorry, minus 4 and positive 2. You need to take them inside. The factors will be plus 4 minus 2. This is it. And then write it. A is an unknown term, a constant, and B is unknown constant. We need to solve them. How do we do? Multiply with the other term. Now, okay, I had told one mistake. I'm so sorry for that. In the previous part, I just realized I told change the sign, right? It's not just change this plus and minus. It depends on the other factor. Look over here. When you multiply, you need to multiply the other factors. See, now you have x minus 1 already. You should multiply and divide by the other factor over here as well. I just realized it. Now, sorry for that. Here, what do you multiply and divide to this term? It'll be x minus 2 up and down. Over here, it'll be x plus 4 up and down. I hope this is clear. In the previous topic, the topic 9, this was explained properly. If you're getting any confusions over here, go back. In this method, only extra part is over here. This is the long division part. Now, once you write this, it's very, very simple because you have equated the top. You need to take x is equal to minus 4 and x is equal to positive 2. What happens? When you take minus 4, 1 dissolves to 0 and you can solve it. A is 11. and then x is equal to 2. Same way, solve it up. What's going to happen? 12 equals 6b, b is 2. Now you can substitute the values back. So this part, so whatever is this part, I'll just, instead of writing this part, we have to write this. Now when you're integrating, don't forget these two terms. These are very important because they can be easily integrated. See, x minus 2 will remain, but instead of the remainder was divided by divisor, we are writing x minus 2 plus this and this. Now you can integrate them easily. Integration of this is very simple. All you're doing is over here. Now, okay, you can integrate this together. It'll be x squared by 2 minus 2x. Then what is remaining? This is power rule, x squared by 2, and nothing is there. It's a constant, so x. Here it will be 11 is removed out. The constant numerator is always taken out. And natural logarithm of the denominator, important to add magnitude because it cannot be a negative answer. And same thing over here, 2 ln magnitude x minus 2 plus c, it is the constant of integration. That is it. That is how you solve this problem. Now we will do one more problem, the last one, that is with same degree. What I would ask you is now pause the video over here and try to solve this by yourself, and then we will see how to solve it together. Please pause the video now and write it and solve it by yourself for a few minutes and then continue the video. I hope you all paused the video and tried to solve it by yourselves. Now we will look into how to solve it. Here, the degrees are the same. The first problem, this numerator degree was less than the denominator. We split it easily. Next one and the last, you can just see over here, the last problem, it was greater, numerator degree was greater. But even if it is equal, you need to do division. Over here, you need to do the long division, just like what we had done just now. So start solving. What is the answer over here? 1. Okay, write it as it is. And what's going to happen? It reduces, isn't it? Because it's the same degree, right? So it'll become 1. And then multiply this as it is and solve it up. It'll be 1 plus, the sign changes over here. All the sign changes. So it'll become 5x, 6 plus 1 is 7. And you can write it like this: 1 plus 5x plus 7 divided by the divisor. Now we are going to split this term. How do we do that? We have done it so many times now. So all you need to write is a divided by the one of the term, b divided by the other term, multiply and divide by the opposite other denominator. So here in the first part, you need to multiply and divide by 6 plus 1. Here x minus, it's not 6, x plus 1, over here x minus 6. If you're thinking how to solve this, to decompose this over here, you need to find the solution by mod 3 in calculator, and you will get the answers x equals 6, x equals negative 1. You need to bring it inside, it'll become x plus 1, x minus 6. That's it. And then simply solving it. All the numerators can be equated because the denominators are the same factors. Numerators are equated, and then let us consider one of the x value, that is x equals 6, and then you find the a value, and then take x equals minus 1, that's the other x value, and you can solve for b. And all you do is simplify and solve. B value is obtained, and now we can put it over here in the equation like this. Now this is not the answer, you need to integrate this including this part 1. Don't forget the 1. What will happen? 1 will be x, that is solving 1 is x. Here it will be, this is constant, remove it out. Whatever is the denominator, you must write natural logarithm magnitude of that value. Same thing over here, minus 2 by 7 is out, ln x plus 1. This is in detail, but you can just skip few steps like all this, you can directly get the answer. So this is how you solve this. Now please do try solving this by yourselves. Now if it is 3 terms over here, it's the same thing, it'll just become, when you put it in the calculator and solve, what's going to happen? You will have 3 terms, a plus b plus c. Now you can see over here the methods are all there. Do it by yourselves and then check the answers. Here we just get a and b. Over here also it's the same. Over here now you can see you will have a, b and c. A, b and c. You need to try three factors. How do you solve this? It is basically remove this x out and you will have x squared plus 3x plus 2. And then this can be solved in calculator, or directly you can put this in calculator. You'll get three factors. Okay? And then all you need to do is simplify them. Do the same method. Okay? What's that? You need to multiply two factors over here to each term and then equate the numerator and you will get this answers, and that's it. So these are all the over here, the in detail steps are there. You can follow them. So they're very easy, they're not straightforward. Whatever the methods I've just now told, please follow them and these will all be very, very easy. So there are plenty of ways to solve it. You can opt any one of them. And try to remember the identities as well. They might come in handy. Say, for example, the a square minus b square identity. It is a plus b, a minus b. And a plus b the whole square, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Similar such identities. So that's end of the 22nd topic. This is in writing. So make sure you do the steps. Not no need of all the steps what I've explained, at least some of them. You can skip some steps, you can jump because you can do it in your mind, so it's fine. But the thing is, you must write the important steps. For example, see the substitution and everything. So some are very crucial. Don't skip all. You The main thing is, whenever we correct, we must see that you understood the problem and you've solved it. You're just not copied or something. You've written it, you've understood it. So any few steps, if you the important steps are more than enough. If you write, we will understand that you have written it genuinely. So that's the end of the topic. There's one last topic remaining, so please stay tuned. That'll be the final video of this term 3 exam. Now we move on to the final topic. This would be the last video for the term 3 exam. And before I start with the video, I want to dedicate my term 3 videos of this term to my 12 advanced class. They are one of the best and I'm really gonna miss them. I have been teaching them since when they were in grade 9, term 3, and it has been such a nice journey with them. It was an amazing 3.5 years with them, and I'm really sad that next year they'll not be in the school. But I wish them all the best. I'm not going to mention any names. All my 25-year students, each one of you, and also the students who change their schools. I'm not going to mention any names because of privacy issue and stuff, but it's gonna be different. But I'll really miss you all, and I just wish you all the best wherever you go. Do great. Now then, we will continue with the last video. It is about real world problems. Now we have a real world problem. In fact, this is an easy one. Say, suppose a bacterial, it's about population, by the way. Suppose a bacterial culture initially has 400 cells. After 1 hour, the population has increased to 800. Assuming exponential growth, determine the population after 3 hours. Find an equation for population at any time. And what will be the population after 3.5 hours? So now what you basically do is, you need to understand what's given. So initially at 0th time, y of 0, it is 400. They have told initially that was the thing. At the time 0, you already have 400 cells. But after 1 hour, let's take 1 time as 1 hour, y of 1, it becomes 800. So you can see at every hour it's doubling. So the population is multiplying, right? So now over here doubles. Then what will be the next thing? See, after 1 hour it's 400, 800. It'll multiply. After 2 hours it's 1600. Again it'll be the same thing. It'll multiply after 3 hours, it's 3200. Since they asked only till 3 hours, we will stop. But if they are asked 4 hours, it'll be 6400 and so on. Now that is the population after 3 hours. That's it. The part 1 is done. A is done. What about write an equation for population at any time? So now we have to use the exponential growth formula over here. This is very important. Y of any time t equals a e to the power kt. Now, A is the initial population, K is the constant of population growth, and T will be the time. Now, what do we know? We know that initially at 0th time it is 400 cells. So substitute and let's find the A value. Just double checking. 400 equals A e to the power K into 0. What is anything to the power 0? It's 1. So this is gone 1. So A value is 400. So we can write A as 400. That means y of t equals 400 e power kt. But do you know what is the k value? No, let's solve for that now. All you need to do is take the other equation. When 1 hour, you know it is 800, right? Let's put y of t as 1. T as 1. So at y of t of 1, it was given, it's 800. So I'll substitute 800. Here it's 400 constant, e, k, and time is 1. Now let's divide both the sides by 400. You will get 2. Here it goes and e to the power k into 1. This is basically e power k. How can you remove exponential function? Take natural logarithm because natural logarithm is having base e, and whenever you have something like this, we know from natural logarithm properties, this whatever is the power comes over here and this cancels off. So over here we can just take natural logarithm on both the sides, and what is remaining? It will become natural logarithm 2. Over here, ln e is dissolved. K into 1 is k. So that's it. So we found the k value, a value. All you need to do is substitute back because they have told any time. So t must be written as t itself. Now y of t equals 400 e to the power natural logarithm 2 into t. That's the second part. And now the last one, what will be the population after 3.5 hours? All you need to do is put 3.5 hours over here. So just this, this the equation we just now solved for. And you need to just substitute 3.5 hours instead of time. And then you will get around 4,525 cells. So sorry. I'm sorry for that. Okay, that's the answer. But remember this 4,525. Let's just go back over here. You can see it was 3,200, and then it's between 3.2 and 6,400. Yes, absolutely. So this is the correct answer. That's how we solve it. Now there are some other problems. This is same, but some similarly they'll tell you different values. It's just changing the values. Or they'll ask you when will it reach? Say for example, what time does it reaches? Say 5,000. All you need to do is substitute 5,000 instead of y of t and solve for t. And you can directly, once you substitute, write the given and everything, the formula, you can directly solve it in the calculator. So you can, or you can show the steps. It's very simple. Take this to the other side and solve, or you can do it in do it in the calculator to check your answers. So simple variation of all the problems, very easy. Try it by yourself and then check the answers. All the answers are over here for A, B, and C parts, and this is the answers over here. You can pause it and check it through, and over here as well, and the last two over here, sorry, last one over here and over here. So please do try them by yourselves, and this is the final question. Okay, all done now. So that is it. I wish everyone all the best who are writing the exams soon. Um, Please do not panic. Just take time, read the question, be free, clear your mind, and try your best. So, first is the exam, writing exam. Try your best in the writing. So, make sure when you're practicing, write and practice. Doesn't matter which exam it is, which part it is, one, two, or three. Write and practice so it'll be imprinted in your mind. And I just wish you all the best and do well, guys. All the best. I hope everyone gets great marks. Take care.